บุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ดเป็นสโมสรอันดับหนึ่งของไทยและเราจะทำให้อาวีในไทยกลับมายิ่งใหญ่อีกครั้งหนึ่งในเวทีระดับโลกยินดีต้อนรับทุกทีมเข้าสู่ประเทศไทยครับ
ไม่เข้ามาก็ไม่เป็นไรงั้นขอเข้าไปเองเพื่อให้ได้ยิงไกลๆแล้วเหลือทีคนเดียวเท่านั้นจะโหมหรือเปล่ามีเต๋าอีก1 คนครับแต่ว่าตรงนี้เหลือถึงตั้ง4 คนทีเดียวครับไม่น่าไหวตรงนี้
GCS부터 RPL까지 그리고 국제대회인 AIC와 AWC까지 짝선수와 저는 수많은 경기를 함께했습니다. 저희는 원년 챔피언이고 이번에 새로운 OP팀으로 돌아온 만큼 그 영광을 다시 한번 누리고 싶습니다.
1 năm trước tại AIC 2018, dấu ấn chúng tôi để lại chỉ là một đội tuyển non trẻ. Thì nay chúng tôi đến để khẳng định lại vị thế, để có một chỗ đứng rõ ràng trên bản đồ liên quân thế giới.
在 GCS 夏季赛初，没人看好 HKA 能拿下冠军，但在这2个月的比赛里，我们不服输的决心以及努力不懈的精神，让团练上帝不只是团练上帝，我们也证明了自己的实力，拿下 GCS 冠军宝座。而这股精神，我们也将持续延烧下去，横扫2019 AIC 国际赛。
这个是一个 cover， 可以什么都可以办法，恭喜 HK。
Selama bertahun-tahun menghadiri banyak turnamen internasional, tim kami selalu stabil karena tidak ada perubahan besar dalam personel. Bocah ajaib sudah memiliki keberanian yang lebih stabil di panggung internasional. Jadi saya percaya bahwa AIC 2019 akan menjadi musim bagi AV Indonesia untuk memiliki terobosan yang belum pernah terjadi sebelumnya.
在今年 AWC 以及 GCS 夏季赛失利后，我们从中学习了许多挫折的洗礼以及丰富的国际赛经验，承载着粉丝期盼的我们不再害怕，期待勇敢追逐世界冠军的梦想。请再为我们欢呼一次，我们是 One Team 我挺。
Although we're only rookie team at AIC 2019, marami kaming surprise na inihanda katulad ng aming pagkapanalo sa MSP Championship.
I think AIC, after a year, Nova Esports will eliminate all previous prejudice and bring explosive energy from Europe.
很多人都因为我们很神秘而感到畏惧。没错，请当心我们的怪物种类以及强势回归的距离。你躲到哪儿，它就会在哪儿。我们不止神秘，更是你的噩梦。我们是 AK。
今年の AWC と比べたら僕たちはたくさんの変化があった。この変化をもって今回の AIC では僕たちの侍精神を全て見せてあげよう。
ตอนนั้นเราแพ้ในรอบเซมิไฟแนลของ AWC ที่ผ่านมาเพียงแค่แต้มเดียวแต่ในรายการนี้เราจะกลับมาทวงบัลลังก์แชมป์และจะโค่นทีมแฟลตลงให้ได้ครับผม
Team Flash đang là thế lực mạnh nhất tại giải đấu này. Chúng tôi đến để chinh phục nốt chiếc cúp danh giá AIC 2019.
Sẽ ăn tạt tạt ra bắt Xuân Bách cướp được tạt tạt ra.
Và với bộ sưu tập danh hiệu danh giá này sẽ khiến Team Flash trở thành một huyền thoại sống của Liên quân thế giới.
Esports pose. Alright guys, welcome to the Arena of Valor International Championship 2019. We have gone past the 3 days already, and we're almost done here in this particular part of the playoffs, and this is going to be the last one. But of course, before all of that, this is presented to you by Tencent Games, Garena, CJENM, OGN, True Online, and True Icon Hall. My name is Asarai, and joining here with me now is Yumiko.
Yeah, we're already in the day 4 of quarterfinals, and we'll be finding out our last semi-finalist for today. And today we will be having Team HKA versus 1. Both of them coming from the same region, first seeding and second seeding. Really looking forward. This is like them fighting in GCS finals all over again.
Yeah, we saw that when they fought against, during the GCS finals, it was pretty abysmal of a performance for One Team Esports here. So they were like they got 4-0'd by Hong Kong Attitude, and now getting into the AIC, the fated matchup once again comes up, and this is the time for One Team to redeem themselves, to get that revenge, that retribution against Hong Kong Attitude. And of course, this is going to be a Taiwan versus Taiwan matchup.
Yeah, as we can see, the prize pool on the screen right now. The first ranking, I assume, is for today. The first ranking will be going home with 200,000 USD. But look at the overall prize pool, accumulating of 500,000 USD. That's a lot, that's right.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not sure if it's as big as last year's, I forgot, but still a hefty sum, and whoever actually gets already into the playoffs at least is secured that 16,000 US dollars. So I believe teams like USG, HQ, and EVOS already got themselves 16,000 in the bank, but of course nobody wants to be cut off that quickly. They want to get into the finals, into the grand finals, get that $200,000, as well as, of course, that very distinguished trophy.
Here we can see the tournament bracket so far. We are already currently in the quarterfinals, and this will be the last quarterfinal of this match, and it will be Hong Kong Attitude versus One Team Esports. For the past 3 days, we already seen HTVC, IGP Gaming, Team Flash, Buriram United. They already advanced to the semi-finals, and today, who will it be? Will it be HKA or One?
Now, check this out. Whoever's actually on the blue side of the team, like IGP, Team Flash, they always get the win. And then you can see that on the red or orange side, there's like USG with 3 wins, there's HQ with 2 wins, and then there's EVOS with 1 win. Are we going to see like a weird trend in the AIC where it's now One Team Esports turn to go with like 0 wins?
Interesting.
I don't know. It seems like there's a trend there, guys. You saw it.
Who knows? It might happen. It might not.
It might not. Again, going into this playoffs, from the group stage, of course, we do go back to the global bans, meaning that these teams, whenever they go to game 1, all of the picks that they have will not be available for game 2. So if you pick yourself the Murad, the Kriknak, these are just examples, all right? The Liliana, you can't use that for game number 2, which means that you have to understand again how to spread out the compositions, how to try to kind of mesh different types of rosters of heroes, just because getting everything, getting all the strong ones all at the same time for game 1 might not be the best strategy, because you're gonna run out of steam pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely. But here's the catch: if we push all the way to game 7, they will have a blind pick. Is it?
Yeah. They actually have a regular draft.
Yeah,
so
they'll have a regular.
Everything is reset, so they can pick everything else. But that is, of course, only when we get into a game 7. But the only game 7 that we saw here in the quarterfinals was between IGP and USG. Nothing else has gone through that side. But here's the thing: the predictions that I actually put here when we were going into the quarterfinals was that, for the most part, I felt like IGP and USG were neck and neck. But then Team Flash HQ, Buriram, and Evos, not so much. But going into this fourth quarterfinals, I believe that one team does have a shot at pushing this to Game 7 or even trampling HKA just because of how good their performance was during the group stage.
But however, if you put back all the way to their GCS summer season, HKA totally outed one team with a 4-0.
Yeah, and I believe those matches were pretty quick as well. So, you know, really trampling one team there. But of course, that was last month, I believe, October.
Yeah, October.
I mean, a month has passed. There's been tons of time for them to recuperate, rejuvenate, regenerate. And, well, here we are. Just going to watch the highlights, guys. And when we get back, it's game number 1.
小林这边是一个拯救者队啊，直接从后面打一个绞杀，爆發呢啲輸出。และเล็งที่บอกการฝั่งเสาเนี่ยจะเป็นใส่หุยรองครับไว้หุยรองครับแล้วข้ามหุยรองไม่ได้แล้วบอกการถ่ายตามครับเรียกว่าใส่cái đường lạc đến to sang cực tốc tiến lên kéo Hans vào tầm đánh của chủ có sự kết dịch rất tốt giữa cây và lạc và 2 điểm hạ gục Kiệt Anh hoàn hảo. Di berusaha sendiri dengan tapi ternyata sekali lagi dulu Wira follow up itu bakal jadi another comeback untuk Evos dan bener aja Dewa This is exposed. This is GG. Oh no. What just happened? Sports. แล้วมันโอ้โดนไปเยอะแบบนี้แอนจิลิสเบนเดอร์ลงมาโอ้แล้วยังดีครับผมปีธนาของเคียวหลบออกมาได้ก่อนนะrất yếu rồi mặc dù có 9 2 trận tiền đây úp một đôi Eli đã hạ cùng được bay ra và chúng ta bấm bay Eli bị chủ bàn Eli quá hay
有点奇怪了，但是后面记者要来抓他，想要抓的是在谁身上？一抓的话搭配的是突然的外向进场，是有收掉对方的他比杰里侧前锋的话 ADC 也是会想要进攻。这就爆炸了，这打的打完了，打有点是收到了，这个是拼命的收到谁？收到了现在。
True Gigatech Fiber เน็ตบ้าน 1,000 เมกมาพร้อม True Gigatech Fiber Router เร็วแรงทั่วบ้านเพียง 799 บาท พร้อมดูฟรี True Premier League กว่า 100 แมตช์ตลอดฤดูกาลจัดเต็มกับความสุขที่ได้มากกว่า สมัครวันนี้ คลิก
Again, like 800 baht for around 1,000 gigabytes. I mean, count me in. I gotta say, Thailand's got one of the best internets in Southeast Asia. Damn, that's pretty good. Anyways, welcome back to AIC 2019. My name is Azurite, this is Yumiko, and we're just about to start this best of 7 game between Hong Kong Attitude and One Team Esports. So, alright, before we do start everything else, I want to ask you, predictions. What do you think is going to happen today?
Predictions.
Yeah.
If you look from GCS, but then again, you said it was last month. But coming in from into the AIC group stages, probably there might be a fight, probably a 4-3.
Okay, I accept that. I accept that. The thing for me now is that the performance of one team has been pretty dang strong as well. They were able to one-up teams such as hang on, let me just double-check my brain here. They were able to win with teams such as Liab, Team AK. They even got 1-1 against Team Flash. So that really does mean that, you know, one team aren't really a pushover of any sort. But on the other hand, HKA, they went 1-1 against Olympus and IGP Gaming during the group stage, which is a very, very scary thought. Now, here we are for the draft of game number 1. We'll started off, of course, never gonna see the zip. It's been used by HKA when they went up against Team Flash. That was a mistake that Flash did, and you saw how good Aobao was with that particular hero. So be afraid. Be very afraid.
Very afraid. I assuming Kha'Zix probably will be taken out by one, or did they misban? Oh no, it's still currently in the ban. Speaking about one has a lot of international experience coming in from them, whereas compared to HKA, it's considered one of their first international tournament coming into the AIC. But however, I'm pretty surprised at how they stomped Team 1 in their GCS summer 2019.
Yeah.
So I guess HKA improved a lot, and I'll see how they're gonna use this against One Team Esports. This will be like a rematch for their GCS finals.
So looking at the bans here, you're already removing the Darcy, the Murad. That's a lot of no thank you on the jungle role. One Team on their hand saying also the same thing, but now that means that there's going to be a little bit of a finite amount of junglers going to be immediately available. But of course, with all of the focus bans on that particular role, we're going to be seeing the Florentino be able to spread his wings figuratively here on game 1, which is going to allow, of course, HKA to use that to the fullest of extent. Outcast has been a phenomenal top, or rather DS laner for HKA here, while One Team on their hand immediately hover over Kid's Roxy, also used that during the group stage, and Baya, what can he actually bring to the table here now that there's like 3 bans on the jungle role?
Yes, I can feel like HKA is especially target banning against their jungle, but surprisingly they are using Baya instead of Senyo this time. Baya is considerably one of the newest member in One Team Esports. But however, he has shown to be really good in his role, especially on those Darcy, Lenders, even Key. He can use Key in the jungle. So now they have picked up Crixie and Roxy.
Crickneck's open here. I wonder why they actually allowed Roxy and Crixie to be the first pick. I could have understand maybe a Crickneck Crixie first, but maybe they just wanted a legitimate DS laner so that you know they can have like a split pusher that Florentino really can't burst down or anything.
Yeah. The reason why they picked up Roxy, because Kid, he really likes to use those split pushing heroes, and his playstyle is more to split pushing, and Roxy is definitely one of his best heroes played. Now on the side of Xiaolin, they probably might lock in a Crickneck for themselves. But a Liliana and the Zenil will be picked up instead. It seems like they are still leaving up that jungle position open.
Well, for now, it seems like they're living the teamfight life. They're going to have a Liliana and a Zenil. That's a lot of, like, you know, fighting power already here for HKA. I mean, I get the imagination that even if Fricknack is one of those really strong jungle picks, the thing is, he's pretty farm-aligned that if you make a mistake in terms of him kind of just, you know, you're not able to get the proper jungle route that you need, your level 4 isn't as strong, or your level 4 gank isn't successful, you're gonna fall off a little bit. So they're kind of just securing, all right, we'll go for the picks that make sense even though we just begin the game.
Yeah.
So that makes, you know, they'll make it a little bit easier for HKA and One Team to start off the fights. Now Vera, I believe we haven't seen her at all, but I thought it's gonna be the first pick here.
No, it will be the Quillen being locked in on the side of One Team.
Killing with the Killin.
Yeah, Quillen has been played one time by One Team during the group stage. And once again, the Quillen was one time paired up with the Crixie, so I'm looking forward to what they're gonna ban in the second banning phase.
There's a lot of damage that actually comes out from the Killin here, but now the thing that you're looking at is that One Team kind of lacks a little bit in terms of the range. Maybe that's why they're a little bit afraid to kind of bring out the Elsu. And of course, Elsu is the perfect hero to be supplemented by the Zenil, by the Liliana, and now they actually are fearing the Hayate second phase pick for One Team here, so they deny that. One Team on their hand, they know that the jungle's not still there for HKA, so they can maybe remove something. But hovering over to Yena, I'm not sure about this one just because the Florentino is already out. And there it is. There's the hover over to Cricknack. Remove that.
Remove that. Because Xiaolin has been playing quite a lot of Cricknack during the group stages. So the last ban coming in, I assume it might be the Talanas? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I'm assuming could be the same thing. There is a lot of like needed setup for Killen to be a very strong jungler. Like, he has a lot of damage at the very start, but he's like Cricknack in the sense that he has good damage. But the thing is, compared to Cricknack, he doesn't have any form of crowd control, if I'm not mistaken. He only has really strong damage output.
And both Quillen and Cricknack, like you see, it's either they do really well or they fail really miserably. So, and they are the kind of jungler that actively goes around look for ganks right after they clearing their first jungle round. So here you go, the second pick phase, that will be Fennec being locked in on the side of 1.
Oh, Fennec as the ADC? Well, they're probably going to be assuming that HKA are going to try to go for some really in-your-face type of characters here. They hover over as well as with the Zephys. So that's going to be a Zephys in the jungle. Lots of tanking ability here for Hong Kong Attitude, able to absorb quite a bit of damage if you think about it. Now, you need to look at their ADC. I don't really think it's going to be the Tilanas, but I could be wrong. They might go for... I would assume a Kafeni would be also not too bad if...
they need a frontliner, yeah.
It wouldn't be too bad because the thing is, the setups of Zenial and Zephys will make it so that the Kafeni's Gatling gun would be more effective. So having a little bit of lockdown will be a much better option here for HKA. And of course, you don't use the Lindis, you don't use the Tilanas into the game 1. Makes a lot of sense, but look at this. They're looking for the Irie.
Locking in the Irie, last minute sudden change of thoughts. It's like Zephys is currently not being used for now. Fennec on the side of Tyra, what will be the last pick? Superman.
Superman as a support?
We haven't really seen much of Superman, have you?
Not as much, and I don't think not as a support either.
Right now, they are missing one support.
Oh, Mina! I mean... Okay. Nah, I don't think it's going to be the Mina. I think it's either going to be Alice or Superman. More so on the Alice. But I would have enjoyed if we actually had a Superman support just because of how aggressive it can really be. I mean, Alice is okay. The thing about her is that she's a very squishy support, mind you that. But we forgot about the Krizzix actually going to be open. And, I mean, this makes sense if they lock it in because probably the next game, there's not going to be any more Krizzix available because everybody's going to be banning it out. So why not just use it this time? Krizzix and Fennec are a super strong combo. Even with the Killen, actually, might be even better than a Murad Krizzix. You know, the Killen Krizzix could be the stronger duo there. So one team really... thinking through this composition. As for Hong Kong Attitude, I also like the idea that Kafeni will definitely even out their damage source, and that's going to make them such a scary team, especially in the 5v5 team fights.
Xiaolin on the Irie jungle, and Zenial will be the support. Now the full lineup coming up, it will be the Florentino, the Liliana, Zenial, Kafeni, Irie on the side of HKA. And on the side of Team 1, it will be the Roxy, the Crixie, the Quillen, the Fennec, and the Krizzix. So, what do you think about this lineup?
That's very difficult to think about right now. I'm actually liking both the lineups as of the moment. Nothing really kind of, you know, nothing kind of explodes right in the head and says, oh, this is going to win. But if I tilt a little bit, you know, towards a team here in terms of just the picks themselves, I have a feeling that HKA has a better cohesive lineup in the sense that the win condition for them to just kind of win out the fights is very much there. Just protect the Kafeni and then you'll be able to win. You have yourself a split pusher with the Florentino, and then if you look at the other side, it needs to have a bit more. Actually, the thing about one team's composition I don't like is that they might lack in terms of the range. Here it is, guys. Game 1.
Game 1, it will be the first match of today. Hong Kong Attitude versus One Team Esports.
So, how did you do this? Hashtag HKA win, hashtag 1 win. I mean, that sounds pretty bad if it's just one win, you know.
One win.
But I mean, it's their name. We gotta give them some love. So there, guys in the chat, tell us what you think about it. Hashtag that. Drop it right now. See the support. These are both teams from Taiwan. And even though it does say Hong Kong attitude, it's still a Taiwanese team.
They were fighting in the GCS region, and Xiaolin is actually one in the Taiwan server top 1. Look at that aggressive coming in from Fanta.
Yeah.
That sneaky little chameleon.
There you go. Thank you. I keep forgetting that Krizix is a chameleon, but this is also one of the things why I don't also like the Irie pick, is that she's kind of susceptible to being harassed a little bit in the jungle, and without the proper defense of, let's say, like Aobao's Zenial just kind of body blocking Krizix. At least Shaolin's going to take quite a bit of damage, but that was only on the top side of the jungle. Now the bottom side, where Aobao is kind of situated, is going to be a lot more difficult for Fanta to kind of, you know, just roam around the enemy side jungle and make so whatever he wants happen.
But one thing about Xiaolin, he has that aggressive playstyle where he likes to roam a lot, especially alone. He likes to go look out on the map, he picks up some kill, whereas the one playstyle, their team playstyle, is a little bit more of like the passive side.
Yeah, they prefer to go for kind of like the big objectives and then a team fight, or team fight then a big objective, which, I mean, isn't really too bad. But HKA's rotation around the map is going to be quite difficult to kind of counter here. You can already see that they're situating themselves around the big objectives here. There's going to be Outcast who will get the River Sprite, spots it out. That's going to be not really spotting out the Killen, but that will give the information that Killen's not on the top side, so he might be at the bottom side.
Oh, the Abyssal Dragon is right up, then probably they will be starting to put a lot of more focus, as we can see that many of them is already rotated to the bot side, like mid. But one thing about HKA is that they are very persistent to take care of their mid lane, even though they can give you the top side, they can give you the bot side, but mid is something that they will die for. So we are expecting to see how EZ is gonna be at the mid lane pretty much, but look at bot side.
Oh, he got a little bit too over-aggressive. Tura there, what are you gonna do? Fanta does keep his ADC alive for the moment, but both ADCs will be backing away. Tura, though, at the precipice of actually losing his life, but it seems like the man, Kafeni, would stay in the lane first, push the wave, and then that's gonna deny a little bit of CS and XP on for the Fennec, so that's actually a pretty smart idea there. And then when she recalls or ports back into base, she's not going to lose too much in terms of that loot or that CS.
I like how Abao is constantly just giving a lookout on the mid side and the bot side, so to make sure that his mid laner is pretty safe. This is because that the man, he has a pretty, he is pretty independent, I would say, because all along, he can be staying at the bot side without any much assistance from his support.
That's true. I mean, it's a Zenyo. Once you reach level 4, you're going to be able to use that Angelic Splendor to kind of just keep yourself alive. Look at this dive coming in from Outcast. He has so much heal with this Florentino that he's not even afraid to kind of just go aggressive onto the Roxy. So Angelic Splendor will be activated there by Aobao. Maybe just kind of supplement the dive, but the thing now is the immediate rotation from one team denies them the ability to get that first blood onto Kid.
They know that HKA has a very strong global presence, so that's high. They have to be on a very high lookout all around the map, because Zenil will be coming anytime soon, or who knows, suddenly you will see Irie in the top side, in the bot side.
Very true. Aobao, I believe, does have a heal rather than a flicker or anything else, so that's gonna be a much more defensive kind of spell to take up. Makes a lot of sense because they don't really have any sustain themselves, just maybe the shield of Aobao, but that's about it. They do spot out Tura here with the Fennec after clearing out the wave, and 4-5 minutes into this game, Dragon was actually taken already by one team. That's gonna give them a little bit of a boost. Mind you that. And here comes the Ballistas already out. That's going to be crashing in around 5 minutes, 5:15 on the lanes. And this is going to be pretty big to use that big cart to push a tower.
Now the whole team of one is collapsing into the mid lane. Almost caught onto EZ, but nope.
That's a Liliana. You're going to have to do tougher than that to be able to catch her. She's so slippery. It's kind of ridiculous how easy it is for her to kind of traverse or evade a gank. I mean, that's going to keep her, you know, mighty fine in the mid lane.
Irie is already hiding at the bot side, assuming is at the bush, trying to pick up the Fennec, I assume. Not too sure, but look at that Fanta going in, didn't manage to do much, but just clearing the way.
You can already see that they know how to play around each other a lot. Like Fanta's playstyle, I think Easy can just sniff it out a little bit here. But speaking of Easy being sniffed out, there's going to be him kind of caught out in the middle there. Albao was trying to use his Adjust Splendor to help out his teammate, but it was a little bit too late. And now that Abyssal Dragon is already up for grabs, but you can already see they don't care about the Dragon. They care about the persistency of getting that mid-tier 1. Here comes the Kid. He has an ultimate there. He can actually pull somebody in and maybe go for a kill. But underneath all that pressure, look at this one. Kid is in a really bad spot. Outcast goes in, actually gets the kill right there, and Bea goes wild into the front side onto that mid tower, but he got stunned by, I believe, the Zenial, so good way to kind of alleviate the pressure, and the man gets a kill.
Outcast just living up to his playstyle. Outcast kind of playstyle is often like to surprise people coming in from the back. It often disrupts the opponent's tempo. You just look at how he came in at the right time.
Yeah.
That was a really good joining in from Outcast. He walks all the way from the top side, go to mid side, disrupt them, managed to save his teammate from dying.
I did meant tower kill rather than a player kill there. Still, that was such an iffy initiate by one team. Although they do get a lot more in terms of the gold overall. Fanta will actually get caught out here a little bit, but look at Keelan. He doesn't even care anymore. Or Shaolin, rather. He's going to try to dive right in because the Irie does have that shield with the Ryu. The more that she hits with the ultimate, the more the shield becomes. So her initial dive is pretty strong. She does have to go back out immediately because she was underneath the tower. But still, after all of that, Bea is going to be able to get that dragon. Easy peasy, no contestation, easy.
Definitely. Now Florentino has already switched all the way to the bot side. Meanwhile, at the mid lane, HKA is still standing strong, protecting the lane. But at the top side, it looks like Fanta is trying to engage. But however, the man, he managed to walk away.
Just back off, but this is a lot more towers already executed by HKA. I mean, one team is getting the dragons here, though, but at the end of the day, you want to be able to get the towers before the 10-minute mark, a couple of which, so that's going to help you have a little bit better control around the map once you decide to try to go for the bigger Abyssal Dragons, of course, the Dark Slayer, that's really going to help you out. And here's the swap lane for the man as well as Outcast. So this is going to help them kind of try to whittle down this top tier 1. But while that is happening, look at the defense from one team.
I like how Fanta is playing. He has been known for his playstyle, constantly going opposite. Oh, look at that Tura. Get things chunked out a lot of HP, but Abao doesn't care. He just walks in and backs off.
He really wanted to go for that dive right there, kind of just to make sure the Tura goes down. But underneath all that protection, it was nigh impossible to make that happen. Now, the man is going to be trying to go around this bola from Fennec. And here comes someone 1v1. Outcast should be able to outduel the Kid right now because of his damage output as the Florentino. But of course, because of the flames just being chopped out by Kid, he can just clear out the waves ever so easy. Here's the ultimate coming out from Keelan. And use that Decimate, maybe, or rather Assassinate, to catch out this opponent. But no way, not this time.
Now the one will be struggling a little bit, as you can see that HKA is playing the split, pushing playstyle with Florentino, constantly clearing the mid lane, the bot lane. They have to be on the lookout, which kind of distracts them from joining in the team fight, but everyone is already partying at the top side. Now at the mid lane, we can see EZ clearing out the wave.
Bea's right here on the side. He has an ultimate already. I don't know if Easy knows that he's actually right there. He might have gone for an assassinate or something to initiate a fight, but there was the team that was right beside. I didn't even notice this, but Hawk Manager was able to get the Dark Slayer while we were looking maybe in the bottom lane. That's going to be pretty good for them.
Look at how Florentino is constantly just pushing out the bot lane to keep them busy while the rest of his teammate is at the top side waiting to dive and take down that tier 1 top tower. Look at the man just pew pew the tower, about going in the initiation, trying to start a fight.
Shaolin throwing out a stun right there. Oh, I didn't really want to start this fight right here, right now. The thing is, they're not going to be able to, but they're going to use this Drake just to kind of slowly but surely, you know, whittle down at this tower. Fanta flickering in, a little bit too over-aggressive, so that's going to waste a lot of the cooldowns already from one team, meaning that this Drake should be able to get the top tier 2. A wave in mid would actually mean another tower for HKA here, and the macro game is really kind of coming out for them. Here comes the Angelic Splendor from Albao. He comes from up above, and that's going to be possibly the mid-tier 1 already. But Shaolin, a little bit too over-aggressive, will get caught out. It does use the ultimate though, but not sure why she wanted to defend the Drake for far too long. That's going to mean her life, but at least the mid-tier 1 goes in favor of HKA.
I guess that's one life for one tower. Meanwhile, they kept the team of 1 at the top side a little bit busy. They took this opportunity to go to mid side, take down that first tier tower. But meanwhile, 1 will be taking their third Vessel Dragon.
That's what we're talking about. There's not really a big margin of, like, you know, skill or ability against HKA or one team. The thing is, the macro game for HKA is slightly better, but you can see that one team, in terms of how they go around with the objectives, is also pretty scary. You can saw Shaolin there, he just kind of like shrugged 3 people away from diving into the bottom lane, which is pretty dank strong from him, but still, one team is struggling to find the picks that they need.
Yeah, one team has been known for just dragging out the team game. They can win with not a lot of kill, but with a lot of time on the timer. Often their games go all the way to more than 25 minutes, but we'll never know. So far, we can see that both teams are playing equally slow, just try to catch out, trying to avoid team fights, just playing it really safe. Probably they coming from the same region, they know how each other plays.
Yeah, and again, of course, one mistake could be it. Fanta and Albao spotting each other out as they try to go for the forward scout. But of course, the big objective here, the main honcho, is going to be that Darkslayer, while Shaolin, on the hand, has to back off. Fusillade activated there by the Manticore at the wave quickly enough, and that's going to give them a little bit of leeway to start at this Darkslayer, which Shaolin is doing as of the moment. He's taking quite a bit of damage, does have a little bit of sustain, but he needs the help of the man to make it work. Also got to be careful of that knockoff from the Darkslayer, though. That's pretty scary.
That Darkslayer, 2 men taking the Darkslayer successfully. Now Fanta catching up Albao, but he managed to just walk away. Did not much from there you can do. Both team one-on-one. Now looking at the Florentino, he has been just busy on the bot side, doing a lot of distraction on the Roxy. We don't really see much of Kid and Outcast.
Yeah, it's basically going to be like a fight of like somebody who has how do you say this, like boxing gloves, and somebody who's like a punching bag, and nobody is really going to be the winner there unless you can like slash the punching bag or something, right? Which I don't think Florentino can really do, because Kid is a tank or a monster of a tank. Yeah. You got to be very careful with that. At least the one thing that one team have done really, really well is kind of keeping their tier 2 towers alive. It's been up for a good chunk of, like, let's say 5 minutes, and that's a long, long time if you think about it, especially when 2 Drakes have already been summoned here by HKA. They really need to make something happen. Finally, they get the top tier 2, though, but that Drake is still going to push onto the top side. Well, maybe HKA could push onto the mid. We'll see. Looking at it.
Yep, HKA just slowly chucking out tower by tower, taking down the tier 2 top tower, then the tier 2 mid tower, probably the bot lane tier 2 tower. Look at Florentino just being very close near to Roxy. Meanwhile, the rest of his teammates is playing on the top side. Look at the Drake still standing strong.
Yeah, not taking any bit of damage. I mean, just a little bit of HP expended here. Do they really have enough? They have to also be careful, because Kid can drag down anybody inside their base and basically make it into a 4 versus 5. That Fusillade won't really do too much onto Kid, aside from the other members of one team. Now he's trying to go in aggressive. He spots out Albao, but that is the Zenial. Not really what you want to happen. Good initiate from Fanta here, though. This is the collapse that one team wanted. They're chasing hard. They do get Albao. Now Outcast, he still has the Ryu. No, actually does not use it anymore. It was already expended before the big team fight happened. And this is one team. They really want to get the man one on Tura. He's going to be diving in straight to the damage, though, from the man. One more auto attack might be it. Shaolin is going to be going aggressive. Can he really find his mark? not going to be enough. The assassination potential of this Ari a little bit too weak there. And Easy is going to be the only one to remain to maybe contest at this first Enraged Abyssal Dragon. But that is the turnaround that one team were looking for. Kid, linchpin with that pull.
I like Kids pulling in the Zenil, even though Zenil wasn't the right choice to pick. But at that point, everyone was just flocked together in one group. You couldn't really decide who to pull. But that nice following up coming in from the Crixie, the Moonfall coming in, managed to take away the Zenil, the tank, the frontliner. Look at that replay.
How did they destroy Outcast so quickly? I'm not sure when he used his ultimate. That could have been something though. The Fanta going in with the Crixie, or the Krizix, was really big. The ability to kind of just make them stick, and that is one team really setting up the pace. The thing that was a little bit obvious there that HKA should have or might have been worried about was that Kid, his ability to just drag anybody, even if it's Aobao. It's actually perfect that he got Aobao because there's no more protect there for HKA after they take out that Zenyo.
Even though I could see that how Kid was attempting to go in and pull someone in the first try, but was kind of denied by the Roxy's ultimate. Then he backed off. Then probably he knew like, hey, Roxy doesn't have his ultimate. Let me go in and pull someone again.
That's true.
Look at that Fanta going in, trying to do an engage. Kid probably want to pull in someone again.
Doesn't have his ultimate yet though.
Doesn't have his ultimate yet.
Yeah, it's still on cooldown. Florentino almost about to get that bottom tier 2. Finally gets it. The thing now with one team, even though they did get a glorious team fight, you know, netting them like 3 kills, I believe, they still have yet to really break any big towers of Hong Kong attitudes. I mean, there's still even a mid-tier 3 up, for goodness sake, so they need to kind of put the pressure rolling. But the thing is, outside of their own base, they're a little bit afraid to make that type of play work because HKA have so much map control around the battlefield outside of their base, so it's going to make it very difficult for one team to try to do that same type of initiation once again.
They just have to pick that right moment, but now currently the moment HKA is just camping it out in the mid side. Krizix walking it in, try to catch out Abao, but can't.
He's on the side. He can actually do something there if he wanted to, but decides otherwise. This Darkslayer buff is gonna get wasted. Should already go up in like 20 seconds or so.
No.
You can see that they're really looking for initiate. Fanta is going in already. He's trying to spot them out. So the positioning here for one team is that it's going to be Fanta to initiate, a couple of auto attacks for Tura, and then if all goes well with the initiation of Fanta, that is when Baya will go in and try to decimate some people, or mutilate rather. Here's the Drake, going to be pushing onto the top side, so that will look pretty strong. But look at this, he didn't even notice this one. Outcast 1v1ing the Kid. This is what also we were talking about. The dueling potential of the Roxy is not too good, so HKA is noticing this. Use Outcast to push it out. You don't get the bottom tier 3 though, but this is 40 seconds that they can use to get some big objectives, and one of those could be the next Darkslayer of the game.
The Darkslayer coming up in 24 seconds, but at the moment HKA has to clear away this Drake before it takes down their tier 2 tower. It already took down their tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, on the bot side, you can see Irie being alone. And with the Florentino, Fanta going in and engage onto Outcast, but Xiaolin is nearby trying to catch out Fanta, but they have to run away as they are fighting against 4 people. Liliana probably wants to come for backup, but it's already disengaged. Meanwhile, on the Darkslayer, we can see the man and Abao attempting to take that.
This is the laziest Darkslayer I've ever seen. Look at how the man is just like
sitting there.
Yeah, standing up, sitting, hitting with the Gatling gun, and that's about it. And they will be able to get that one. But look at this replay right here. Amazingly enough, that was just a 1 versus 1. Even underneath the tower, the ability of Florentino to stick to his target and get heals because of the drops that he does is mighty fine for him. Now the next Abyssal Dragon is up. Fanta is looking for initiate there. Nice dodge from Aobao. You saw that. He got almost pulled in, but then just kind of hops over it. That's a pretty nice ability to kind of respond to the initiate of Fanta.
Enraged Abyssal Dragon. Both teams seems like they want to contest this. Fanta going invisibility. Try to go in. Will he go in?
He has only a set amount of seconds here to kind of start the fight. Shaolin will be kind of denying him this Dragon is still up. What is happening here? Drake has already been summoned, and team fight not to begin just yet. Dragon is about to go down. Fanta's going to be forcing the issue here. Alba's going to get spotted up. He should be able to kind of hop over the wall. Outcast into the front line. Will charge right in. Shaolin onto the side there. Could have actually a nice setup with his Ryu. There it is, the big shield right there. And Bea left out to dry. I don't think he's going to be able to escape here. Maybe that's going to be the resurrection for him. He's still going to be able to come back with his team. But they expend that item already. And they push out One Team Esports, and this Abyssal Dragon is up and easy for the taking.
Look at how tank Abao is. He just walks in front, tanking, soaking up all that damages, giving his teammate the time to do all the damages from behind. The Drake has been summoned at the bot side while... Is that kid? Yeah, that kid is just standing there waiting to engage on. Look at Abao going into Fanta.
Yeah, they're not going to port back to base. They should be spotting out Kid here. He gets pulled in. Easy shutdown onto Shaolin, but he does have a resurrection. He's still going to get shut down there, though, because no ultimate was actually available for him to use. Now, the scary thing here is that even though this is a 4 versus 5, Albao is still here to be a proper frontline. While all of that shenanigans was happening, Outcast was in a 1 versus 1. They're chasing hard onto Albao here. He has to defend as the man is a really tight spot. They do get the assassination right there. Actually, no, that's not going to be an assassinate, but rather a pushback onto One Team, stopping them from collapsing hard onto Hong Kong Attitude.
They deleted away Shaolin immediately. The moment he went into the bush, they dragged him, poof, he was gone. And when HK is down to, with only 4 members left, they try to start a fight. But at that point, Zanil was really tanky. They can't really fight them off. So, I guess HK is currently at an okay spot, I would say. Even in team fight, they don't really lose a lot. Now one is waiting at the mid side, trying to get away that mid tier 1 tower.
Not only that, the Darkslayer is already up. They're spotting it right now. Abao's going to be able to sniff this out. Are they able to take it away quickly enough that Shaolin won't be able to contest and maybe get that punish on the Darkslayer? That's the thing. It's going to be very close. 11,000.
They're going in.
They're kind of stopping him right there.
The moonfall comes true.
Big moonfall coming
the
out.
ultimate coming in from the man, just shredding away the HP, but not enough.
They're chasing hard here. They're trying to get the CCs. Do they know where Baya is? They could stop him as of the moment. Almost stopping the port.
So close.
But they weren't able to contest the Darkslayer just because of that big wall that they have to go around rather than through. And of course, with that, that's going to be the Darkslayer here for One Team. The question now is, are they going to be able to use that buff and make anything happen? Because again, after 5-10 minutes already, we still have the mid-tier 1 up for Hong Kong Attitude.
This is what I said about Hong Kong Attitude. They can give you the top side, they can give you the bot side, but mid side is something they will die to defend for. And they really mean it. Just look at how we're already 23 minutes into the game, and there you go, a pause being initiated.
This is the ridiculous late game already. You know, like 23 minutes into a game. I did say it. Like, you know, these teams are evenly matched. And game number 1, they do not disappoint. Nobody is budging at all. Granted, the Hong Kong Attitude were able to kind of, you know, just a little bit skim the base of One Team Esports a little bit better. But that's only it. It's only a little bit better. And One Team has not lose any of their tier 3s, meaning that they're still able to defend ever so slightly. It's going to be very difficult to kind of, you know, try to pierce right now One Team, because they're starting to become very scary in terms of their damage output, especially with that kill in.
Yeah, with the kill in. Even we saw how Caffeine threw out her ultimate, but the amount of ultimate didn't really shred much of her opponent's HP. Like, that is already one downside I could see. Like, with Caffeine not being able to project as much damage.
I mean, I don't think it's the optimal targets. That's why the Fusillade wasn't really dealing the optimal damage that they wanted to. But of course, that was more of like One Team really knowing how to go against what HKA were planning there. And they did get Darkslayer, so that also pretty much mattered for One Team. Now, a big back and forth here, but you can see slowly but surely, one team are getting objectives, especially the Dark Slayer, one after the other. And the more that this game progresses, the better that they'll be able to get those objectives. And I mean, you might see a ridiculous 40-minute game, but it's the longer this game progresses, the more one team will definitely look stronger than HKA.
As the game progresses, you will have to play it more safely, because one death means your death timer will be eventually longer, and you wouldn't want that. Losing out one member could even be a very disastrous outcome. Like, if you're down with one member, especially on the side of one, they really have to keep the Roxy, because Roxy is like one of their main engager. Especially you're fighting against HKA, who has those dive potential heroes like Florentino, the Irie. Roxy is needed to drag them whenever one of them just walks in.
Yeah, that, and she's kind of like the rock that parts the waterfall that is Hong Kong attitude here. To lose Roxy right now for one team would be catastrophic because, like you said, they won't have Initiate, they won't have the proper front line, and the threat that she just gives, the zoning that she gives, the respect that comes out from Hong Kong attitude because of that Roxy is immense. So losing that Roxy will definitely a big factor here for HKA to try to move. But on the other side, the same thing would be said if Hong Kong attitude loses Aobao's Zenyo, which is doing also the same thing, but for Hong Kong attitude.
But Aobao now is slowly gaining that tankiness for his team. Many times we've seen him being caught in the middle of 4 members, but he still survives, which is one of the really good signs, but which also means losing him would be very disastrous.
Exactly. And I'm not sure what happened here. Hopefully we don't reset the game, because I'm pretty sure everybody would go insane. That's 23 minutes of our lives we're never going to come back with. And, well, it seems like we're going to have to wait just a little bit longer, guys, before we get back for that first game. But you can already see, man, that we're in for a long, long night. And once again, the AIC 2019 is brought to you by our sponsors, Tencent Games, Garena, CJENM, OGN, True Online, and True Icon Hall.
Definitely big thanks to all these people.
Yeah. So, guys, if you have the chance, or if you live in Thailand, you know, be able to, or try to go to Bangkok, or if you're in Bangkok, try to go to Icon Siam, or Siam. Siam, there you go.
Siam.
Thank you. 7th floor, we're going to be able to watch the AIC Grand Finals on November 24th, 2019. That's going to be about next week already. So, you know, plan it on your calendars. Hopefully we'll be there to kind of cast it live, or maybe at least online. That'll be pretty cool to do the English coverage of such a big tournament. Again, a prize pool of $500,000 US. How many phones can you probably buy with that? I feel like, well, if
a lot.
Yeah, okay, fine. If I think at least the easiest to compute is like an iPhone 11. So if you have like if you have $500,000 US, you can buy about 500 iPhone Pro Max. It's like 1,000 per phone. I mean, that's a lot.
What you want to do with so many phones?
Because, okay, if ever you get a large sum of money, somebody has probably done this already, but they've turned that all into maybe coins or like paper bills, and then just like, you know, swam in it. Why can't you do that same with phones, right? You swim in like a ton of phones. Yeah, like in a hot tub, and then swim with like a buttload of phones. Why?
Why though?
The answer to that is why not? Why not? That's the thing. You can do it if you want to.
But through Icon Hall, we can see from the ads during those small breaks.
Yeah.
That level 7, it looks amazing just from the videos.
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. You could probably go there all spruced up with your, let's say your Hong Kong prom, your high school prom outfit, and then go there and be all fancy, like, you know, drinking a bottle of champagne or wine with your pinky up, or if you're a kid, maybe what was it, like bubbly drinks,
bubble tea,
fizzy drinks, yeah, bubble tea, and then you drink it like this,
drinks.
like, you know, SpongeBob does. Drink it like that. Pretty good.
But I hope that the teams are slowly resolving their problems right now.
Yeah, I mean, if we talk too much about it, I think we're going to lose lots of talking points because we're still waiting for the game to kind of progress a little bit more. Because again, it's been more of a back and forth matchup here between One Team and Hong Kong Attitude, which we were really expecting because I feel like, you know, because even if you lose multiple times to a particular team, again, talking about the GCS Summer 2019 where HKA wiped the floor with One Team. And mind you that both of the rosters still stayed the same after that month. So this is still the same roster that we're seeing between Hong Kong Attitude and One Team. You get to learn a bit more about your opponent the more that you lose to them. And you kind of formulate a plan. You kind of understand how to deal with them. And it seems like One Team are very much prepared in this matchup.
Not only that, One Team, they have a lot of international tournaments experiences. They went to the AWC 2019. They went all the way to the quarterfinals. They were even in the 2017 AIC third placing. It's just that during the GCS summer, they were this year they fell short to second seed. Meanwhile, HKA, I think the furthest they went was GCS. But there you go, we're back in the game.
Was it really GCS? Okay. For HKA.
Because I remember Salin said this one time that this was his first international tournament and he wants to win AIC.
What's kind of cool about that is aside from them being just like a kind of a sort of new team here, is that HKA also beat one of the most decorated esports team in Taiwan. Not only is it the One Team,
MAD?
but no, Team Flash Wolves.
Ah, yeah.
Being able to beat them 3-1 in one of the regular games in GCS Spring 2019 is a pretty big, it's a pretty big win overall. But speaking of, pretty big plays or big in general, look at that, like a 5-man stack on that jungle. They were waiting for somebody to mistakenly go aggressive. Look at that damage though from Tura. Like he just did his 3 hits to the tower and it explodes. Easy.
Probably might take down this base tower along with them, but the man throws out the ulti, try to push them away from the tower. But looking at the mid side, that tier 1 tower is still standing strong.
Nah, not anymore. Tura's there. Unless they can clear out the wave fast enough. Nah, they can't. They just backed off. But of course, with that, that's going to leave them the Enraged Abyssal Dragon up again. That's going to be another buff into the hands of One Team, and that's never what you want to see. Now, I'm not sure how Kafeni actually works into the late game, but what I do know is that she's going to be able to at least deal good, significant AoE damage. But look at this. Outgas is chasing hard onto Tura. This could be pretty big. They do significant amount of damage. They push them back. Shaolin's going to be there to deny Bea and One Kid from piercing and spawning out easy. But after all of that, the man really didn't find any good openings to, kind of help his teammates out, but they will be able to clear that Drake at least.
Yeah, at least that Drake was clear, but sadly, this is one big opening for Team 1 to go over the Dark Slayer, take down that third Dark Slayer for themselves. That Caffeine ulti though, it didn't really land much on the opponents. So I would say it wasn't really utilized fully. Now, looking at that, not really looking good for the side of Team HKA. Team 1 has that Enrage buff. They are holding on to the dragon. It might be released anytime soon on the lane.
The thing is, they don't really have like a good enough reason to use that dragon for the most part. They'll probably just use it to hit a little bit the either mid tier 2 and bottom tier 2, and if they're lucky, they're going to be able to use Tura to break any of those towers quickly enough. But this is going to be a battle of attrition. Whoever makes obviously the wrong step will definitely suffer gravely. But you can see that they're just pressing this on ever so slightly. One team knows that they have the advantage, especially in terms of damage output as of the moment. And the longer this game progresses, the more that they can whittle down these towers. But the thing is, this is going to take a ridiculous amount of time to finish. And we might actually see like a 40-minute game right now.
Definitely. It already has going near to 30 minutes at this point. So HKA just trying their best to clear out all the lanes. But the Drake is at the bot side, pushing it in. Krizix and the Fennec just going in. Look at the damage coming from Tura, just a few hits.
That was pretty smart. They used the invisibility so that Tura can actually just walk up straight onto the tower and hit it easy. The Fusila not going to really chip down the HP of the Drake, so they have to go at it manually. But look at that Drake actually deals so much damage and it broke the bottom tier 3. What is happening? That Drake is just overpowered. It's insane. But of course...
Look at the top side. Outcast being chased by Kid. One Kid going in.
That's going to be 5 people that's crashing down onto Outcast here. They need to help him out. There's the ultimate from Albao available for the moment. Outcast is trying to juke around, but he's...
5 men.
No, this is bad. He actually went away from his own team. He's not going to be able to survive this, but as I say that, here comes Albao for the defense, pushing back one team. What a Zenial this Albao is. He keeps his DS laner alive. This support is insane.
I really like how Abao goes in at the right timing. That is the good support you need, but look at that. Fanta trying to catch out Hualin right there.
Oh, they're going for a hard chase
here.
They
have to run. Fanta on a hard chase onto the man. They have to back off now, but at the mid lane, look at Minions. Minions winning. Take down that base tower.
How did that go on? How did they not notice that? Oh my. That is a big facepalm here for one. They got all the cards in their hands. They had every advantage needed to win this game out. They even got the bottom tier 3, and out of freaking nowhere, their mid tower broke just because of a freaking siege minion.
This is why sometimes we say minion winning. But now one will be trying to attempt to take the Dark Slayer. HK almost try to come and contest it, but one will be taking it away for themselves. That will be their 4th Dark Slayer. Now at the bot side, at the mid side, Fanta caught up a little bit, but he's too tanked. Look at Florentino there. Once again, they're collapsing onto Florentino. 5 men going down, trying to catch him.
This is going to be bad for Fanta though. No, there's going to be so much damage from Bea. He did use his Assassinate there, so no ultimate for Bea or for the kill for at least a couple more seconds, but that is the Abyssal Dragon. Can they actually get this through the reset? They're going to initiate a fight right here. Ryu activated from Shaolin, and there is the Moonfall already from Hualin. Going to be chased down by the Kid. Does he actually get a pull with his ultimate? I don't think so, but look at the damage. Oh no, Tura got exploded there. He has to go and revive himself. Still, the chase from Fanta will not go through as they go inside the base of HKA, and through all of that shenanigans, Abyssal Dragon is still up. Now, going into the mid side, you're seeing Outcast chase it. He doesn't care right now because he's a strong Florentino. He's going to be able to push them back out, but this is a battle that has to be won by somebody, and that win condition at least would probably be this Abyssal Dragon, but nobody is able to claim it at all. Albao is into the front line, gonna get pushed out a little bit here. Has to respect that Tura has so much damage, but look at Tura's HP. Doesn't have any more revive.
Oh, Caffeine Tura is ultimate, but kind of wasted right there. It didn't land on anyone. The Enraged Dragon just walking in and out of his pit. Once again attempting to take the Enraged Abyssal Dragon. Meanwhile, HK has to deal with the Drake being summoned at the bot side. It would mean the Abyssal Dragon will be taken away uncontested.
But still, this is ridiculous. We are already reaching like 100,000 gold net worth for both of our teams here. No items matter anymore. This is more of a battle of whoever gets a good pick wins the fight. Because obviously we're up to the point that if you die, your respawn timer would be a minute long, and that is too much, I think, for a 4v5 team to handle. But we'll see.
I really like how GCS region plays out their match. Because see, this is clearly different from what we saw on the past 3 days. But one Kid going in, trying to catch out the man almost, but didn't. Mid lane base tower will be taken down. Now Drake going in a little bit dangerous right there. They have to clear away the Drake. The Drake deals a lot of damage.
It does, but it's not in the range of the Nexus. They're taking quite a bit of time, though, to destroy that Drake. You can see how kind of weak, I would say, the composition of HKA really are as of the moment, at least for shutting down that Drake. But one team, this is what I'm talking about, they're ever so slowly whittling down the defenses of Hong Kong Attitude. They're doing it perfectly. They're not losing much. And for goodness sake, we're 32 minutes in, and it's only been 8 kills overall.
And this will be the 8th spawn Dark Slayer. Give the Dark Slayer a break already. Oh, look at that! Xiaolin going straight for the core. They are backdooring this. The nail coming in with the Angelic Splendor. Will they try to take this down? They are forcing it. Outcast! And that will be straight going over to HKA.
Oh, boy. Oh, how did it? Oh my god. I wasn't even looking at the screen. I was thinking of how they're going to be able to come back against one team. But
we were still worrying for Hong Kong attitude. But who knows? They just sneakily went into the base. They saw that opening, then just swoop, went in. We didn't realize.
Yeah, the pull of the trigger, man, for HKA. Tura is like, oh no. HKA, you can see a breath of like relief. There's like, crap, dude. That was way too close. We've lost 2 of our tier 3s.
Look at all of them just like, oh, that was so close.
Oh,
Heavy
man.
breathing.
One team cannot even believe that they lost that. Well, sometimes you do tunnel vision on trying to break down your opponent's nexus, your opponent's base.
I guess even the audience will bamboozle.
Yeah, but again, those were just those were like 2 small mistakes that one team did, which was to allow the Siege Minion to break the mid-tier 3, and it was actually the gateway for Hong Kong Attitude to win the game. Holy crap, like, I'm pretty sure Hong Kong Attitude didn't even expect that to happen.
Probably it's just like that spark of thought, hey, why not do sneak into the base and just bam, try and take the core. And it worked because with the assistant of Xiaolin, who else was there? I remember Abao, Angelic Splendor in.
The ability of Zenial to just kind of dive right in is insane with that ultimate of his. I actually thought that the tower or the backdoor defense would be better for the Nexus, but I guess when it's this late into the game, it's not gonna matter as much. As long as you can tank it a little bit, you're gonna be able to break it. And man, you saw how one team panicked and all of that. And check this out, 100% kill participation because all of the kills are on him.
There's only 2 kills on the side of HKA.
Yeah, it was 2-8.
So sometimes it means that kill doesn't really mean everything.
Yeah, that's definitely true. This is only the first game, mind you. We're not gonna take a break at all.
But it's already like so many action ongoing.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't know. One team had they had everything. They had every single advantage to close the game out. Okay, we're just gonna see the highlights here. Let's see how that final play panned out for HKA. This is a 6-minute. Okay, that's a 6-minute highlight. We're 15 minutes in, and then we're gonna just try to go until like 30 minutes. It's pretty insane.
I really like his info coming in. The rock team that they nail taking out their home team, double kill. This was the perfect team fight they needed.
I still can't believe that one team lost that. That was terrible. Like, we can't even sugarcoat. That was incredibly bad for one team.
The kind of mislook that the mid lane was wide open.
Yeah, that was a big slap in their face.
Look at that. Look at how Irie, Cassidy, and Florentino just sneaked all the way to while they were taking the Dark Slayer, they knew.
Oh, and what Alba was doing was he's trying to deny the recalls of some of the members of one team there. Then he also used it in Jet Splendor to try to go to his teammate. Did get stopped by Fanta, but even after that, they still got their objective done. And this is one of the strategies, man. The ability to know what the full extent of your abilities or your hero's abilities can do really does give you an edge. And HKA, they got themselves that edge.
That quick thinking coming from Irie, the Florentino, they knew that Team 1 will spend time taking the Dark Slayer. They can't hide anymore in their base. They just walk out. Hey, just walk straight into the base, take down that core since it's wide open.
Yeah, and imagine that would never have happened if that siege minion was destroyed, or that wave with the siege minion was stopped by one team. Fudge. I can't believe that happened.
Minions are important
oh
to clear.
My gosh.
And that's it. A really good game coming in from both teams, I would say, dragging it out all the way to 30 minutes, even up to like 100k gold accumulation.
104,000 for one team, and I think like 102, 101,000 for HKA. Oh,
that's
man.
a lot.
That's a substantial kind of net worth for both of our teams. Can't wait to see how Game 2 will progress now that at least some of the heroes have already been expended. I feel like that was such a... what's the word I'm looking for? Such an exhausting Game 1. And I feel like Game 2, if one... I think it's going to rattle one team a little bit, like oh, crap, what happened on Game 1?
They were dragging it out for so long. It actually eats up a lot of like your mental ability.
Yeah, you get fatigued pretty easy after that one. You're definitely gonna need something, and you definitely need to kind of reset yourself. But we don't have a break just yet because again, we need 2 games before we can go for a 10-minute break and another 2 games, and so on and so forth. But still, so if we try to again kind of dissect that a little bit, what do you think was one of the reasons why it took, let's say, HKA that long of a time to win? Aside from just going for the backdoor itself, like what was the reason why HKA never really had an advantage against one team? I mean, at least in your words.
I could see that they were actually struggling from team fights. Many times I could see the Caffeine throwing out the ultimates, but every time it either lands on the opponents, or even if it lands on the opponents, it didn't really dealt much damage. So from there, Caffeine, you can consider Caffeine not much put into use already. And the Nail's function is to just to be the frontliner, going in when anytime the teammates is faced with danger. And I think the main threat from this coming from the team 1 is actually Roxy. So this probably put HKA a little bit more on the safe side, and they probably do not want to be dragged out to the Roxy. They have high damage output like Crixie, the Roxy, the Quillen. Going in, getting caught one by one would be really bad, and this is probably why HKA is kind of like just playing it backwards, like just keeping it safe.
Yeah, probably just looking for that one big play that they can do to win the game out, and it seems like the opportunity presented itself with that, with the one team kind of again focusing on the Dark Slayer, but enough can really be said about game number 1. That was definitely a turnaround that I think all of us weren't really expecting. That one big swing that HKA did. Oh my goodness.
That's like the first backdoor so far.
True. I think that was the first backdoor. That could have been one team getting already kind of a revenge, that the one game that they could have taken away from HKA, but big slap to their face. That's the thing.
I'm still lost for words.
Definitely lost for words there. Now we're just kind of just waiting for game number 2 to begin, but I mean, again, what can you do up against that big mistake? Something one team has to maybe try to accomplish now is to reset themselves and kind of figure out what they need to accelerate the winning process, because I think the longer this game progresses, the more tunnel vision they become. I mean, granted, they had a good chunk of idea what to do to control the river, to control Darkslayer, the dragon, but they never kind of, I guess, don't have that big of an overview on the map. In any case, we're going to go for game number 2 right now into the drafting phase. Let's see if one team can bring this back into a 1-1, or are we going to get, again, slapped into the face and see a 2-0 from Hong Kong Attitude?
Oh, I'm expecting a Kha'Zix ban here. Since one already took it, they lost it. They probably do not want to open it up for HKA, but we never know. Plus, previously in the group stage, we see how HKA uses a lot of Kha'Zix on Abao. And from how he plays the Zanil, you could see he's a really solid support player.
Yeah. He definitely was. Like, very scary to deal with, especially when he gets his own Kha'Zix. That's also something. And I don't think we're ever gonna see it, but check this out, there's no ban on the zip yet. And maybe it can squeeze through the cracks. Finally, this is the game that we see the Kha'Zix on the quarterfinals. Fingers crossed, guys. I wanna see the speed demon, the zip demon.
The zip demon.
Yeah.
That round little. It actually looks like a little devil from far.
Yeah, he is.
Isn't it that small little wings at the back?
It's like what's the it's like a gremlin, you know?
Oh yeah.
Right? So feed them some water.
Oh, there you go.
Or give them
a
some
zip
food.
ban.
Ah, yeah. Not gonna see that.
There's no Krizix ban coming in from 1, so I assuming HKA might pick it up. Might. Just a might.
Definitely could.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think Hong Kong Attitude are okay with that because I think even though Krizix is pretty strong, I don't think it's gonna be the Azenka. Wait.
That Azenka?
No, probably not because I think for Azenka's like the first pick on the hero list, so you kind of just accidentally click it, and then it's gonna be something else. I really don't think it's gonna be the Zenka. Something probably like Hayate.
Diao Chan will be being banned out.
Yeah.
So now one team, first pick.
That's actually pretty smart from Hong Kong Attitude because the Diao Chan does cover a lot of the area of initiation that a Krizix can do with her Frost. So it makes it harder for the Krizix to initiate, which I think why we're going to be seeing at least the Diao Chan ban come out from Hong Kong Attitude here. Now, one team, they have the ability to actually pick up Tura's Hayate if they wanted to, which is going to be pretty potent if you think about it. And of course, it takes it away from Hong Kong Attitude as well, who might be able to pick it up themselves. But they want the Lindis a little bit more here. Maybe just for the control around the map. The macro pay from the Lindis is pretty strong.
Yeah, they're picking up the Lindis for the jungle. Baya has been playing quite a lot of Lindis in the group stages. Pick it up 3 times. Now we'll be looking for a Lindis in this match. Now HK, will they first pick the Krizix?
Probably will.
Oh, and Azenka.
Definitely not. I don't think Azenka is meta at the moment.
A Gilder.
Nah, they're just messing with us a little bit here. Omen has actually been picked, so that's not a bad idea, so to speak. Actually, a really strong pick either way. And then I'm assuming just one team would probably pick up the Yana themselves, or they can maybe even. Oh no, this is one team actually. They got the Roxy already. So
Or maybe the Key on the side of one, because Key hasn't really been picked much.
I think you just pick Key as like after you get all the nice tier 1 picks already. I think Chi would be more like a tier 2 or something, but who am I to kind of just think about that. But seems like Hong Kong Attitude here will be getting out that Shaolin's Crixie, or rather Easy's Crixie. There it is, the hover over the Yena. Really good duelist against Omen till Omen gets his late game items. That's the thing.
With the Yena pick, what will the mid pick? The mid, Darcy's open, Liliana's open.
Ignis wouldn't be too bad of a pick as well for one team. That's going to give them a little bit of AoE and just really good control around the team fights, especially against Shaolin's, or sorry, Easy's Crixie. Why do I keep saying Shaolin for some reason? But yeah, it should provide them with a little bit of AoE unless they want to go for a support for the moment.
Support pick. Support pick would be Baudum, the team.
Thane would actually be not a bad of an idea as well. But they do decide to go and choose the Liliana. A lot more mobility, a lot more dive. This is going to be an in-your-face composition here. But finally, Murad is actually up for Hong Kong Attitude. Shaolin has used this exceedingly well during the group stage as well. So that's something that Hong Kong Attitude can definitely use as of the moment.
We can see a little bit of what Hong Kong Attitude is going for with the Omen, the Murad. They have the dive heroes already, and Crixie, that high damage output. But we have to see more from the next 2 picks. But on the side of one, they have the Lindis, I assume is for the jungle?
Yeah, most probably.
The Yena for the DS lane, the Liliana for the mid lane. This is more of a high mobility champs coming from Yena or Liliana. But for the Lindis, it's probably to spot out the opponents, just in case they might pick out like Krizix.
So here's the thing, once you see the Murad be locked in from Hong Kong Attitude, I'm assuming that one team will immediately ban out the Krizix just because it's such a deadly combo. You know, being able to pull in your opponents, and then Murad just goes in with the temporal turbulence. It's not really an easy thing to kind of counteract. And of course, you just kind of line up everything else for this Crixie to deal so much more damage. And I don't think one team will let that happen. 5 more seconds. I think they're just using this extra time to kind of figure out what they kind of want to see more onto the board. And finally, the Hayate is banned out.
Yeah. They will be target banning the AD and the support now. The Fennec, definitely, they do not want to give it over to HK8. We really can see how Fennec in the last game, the Tura, onto the towers, just Pam. 2 hit, 3 hit, the tower is gone.
Yeah, that, and I think they just also wouldn't mind to not deal with the good zoning. I mean, Crixie Fennec zone combo is pretty much a very annoying setup to kind of deal with. Are they going to really pass the Kha'Zix here? I think that's a big mistake if they allow her to, or allow the Chameleon to just pass through the Banhammers here. One team, though, they might be thinking of something, maybe a thing to counter that out, or get themselves a Baldoon like you were talking about, but I think it's too much of a risky thing to let slide.
You never know, but now HK8 is still deciding on to the ban. Looks like Zendel will be hovered over, and that it is a Zendel ban.
Still have one more ban to remove here.
Will it be the Kha'Zix?
I hope it's the Kha'Zix. That's gonna be, again, like getting a Kha'Zix and a Murad and a Crixie together. It's kind of like hitting your arm with 3 sharp needles all at the same time. And they do remove the Elsie though.
They allow the Kha'Zix. I was actually thinking about the Baldum. Like, you just need a Baldum, 1 Kha'Zix, and that would be like one of a strong team composition right there.
That's true.
You just need the Baldum, flip it in, Kha'Zix going in, Crixie staying at the back, Murad like usual going in with his ultimate. Then there you go, Omen can be the split pusher. But I guess one team already prepared for that. They already picked up the team. Oh, maybe not.
Annette is actually still up, which could be something, but I'm not really the biggest fan of the Alice, TBH. It's way too easy to kind of counteract her, and Thane could be the better option just because of how much more crowd control he really does have to bring into the fray. Amelie! Ooh, we haven't seen Amelie, I believe, before. Maybe just once or twice during the group stage, but other than that, not really. Oh, there she is. That's going to be the Amelie here for one team.
We didn't really see much of Amelie so far, but I'm looking forward to how one team will kind of execute out the Amelie, but now on the last pick from Hong Kong Attitude.
They need an ADC. They might pick a Violet.
They might pick up a... Wait. They might pick up a... wait, Lindis is already on the side of 1. Hayate is banned out.
They need something for early game though. So they might be forced to go for even a Valheim. Slims? Okay. Okay.
But I like what they're trying to go for. A Slims throwing out his spear, landing that stun. Then Baldum probably might be able to go forward, fling it over.
That's true. That is a nice kind of setup for HKA here. And they do need a early game type of ADC to work with. Slims isn't really known for his late game power anymore, and yeah, he's basically more of a kind of a powerhouse that you can use in the front line. Now, Amelie should get outranged by Slims here, so maybe that's why they kind of wanted to use this particular hero. And I've kind of seen something from HKA already as this second game already progressed, or this draft actually stopped or ended, is that HKA are pretty conservative with their picks already. Like, they could have gone for something else a bit better, but I guess that was because they're afraid that this is a global ban. They need to conserve, they need to preserve their picks, and using that Baldoon is actually not a bad idea as well, just because there's so many more melee characters coming out from one team at this point that if you use a Baldoon, you'll have more more success rate or more impact when you use his ultimate. So it actually makes a lot of sense. But this Slims, I'm a bit iffy on this one, but it could work out, especially against that Amelie.
Slims probably is there to use to split push, but the man, his playstyle is more on a very independent kind of playstyle. He makes sure he stays at a very safe distance, but at the same time he deals a lot of damage. And there we go. We are now in the game 2 of today. One Team Esports versus Hong Kong Attitude. They are now rushing into the mid lane. Abao trying to scout out being the good frontliner. Baodum. I like Baodum players because of how aggressive they are walking into the opponent's jungle.
Pretty tanky dude right there. You're gonna be able to initiate fights as you get level 2 immediately.
You can see right now he's already fighting Fanta one-on-one.
Slapping him a little bit silly, you know.
Oh, HKA Outcast on the top side. Fighting Tura a little bit. But Yena on the bot side might struggle a little bit. He's alone.
Gonna get pushed in real quickly here. So they did shift it up. They're gonna be putting Kid up against the Slims. They could have been the better matchup though with the Yena and the Omen for now. But maybe what they're afraid of is like, you know, two of the lesser evils. Tura might be in a worse spot than Kid, because at least Kid can have better sustainability and can clear out the waves better, or rather worse than the Yena can. Which does make a little bit of sense why they would kind of want that. So it's more of like, it's not the best matchup, but it's the better matchup that we can do here in the bottom lane. Shaolin already has his level 4, so he's going to deal a little bit of damage to Kid with his Temporal Turbulence.
Yeah, with that level 4, he streets go to the laning phase, but a little bit short right here. Baodum moving to the mid lane. But you can see he's showing aggression onto Kid. That Outcast going in, taking onto Kid. 2v1. Will Kid be the first blood? And there you go.
So out of nowhere, Outcast just comes out from out below. They recall him immediately. And look at this. Liliana's going to be way too late. I think they're going to be able to get this tower uncontested. They have to wait for a wave at least, though. Liliana's already here. I thought that was going to be enough, but look at that significant amount of damage that Hong Kong Attitude immediately kind of inflict onto the tower. That's not good at all.
They're already putting so much pressure around the map. Just look at the man. Poking out Tura, like you said, it kind of outranges the Amelie. One might struggle a little bit in the early game.
Definitely. Again, this composition for one team, it's more kind of like a dual composition, you know, just because they have so many melee heroes to work with. I don't think they have enough burst, though, to kind of catch anybody from Hong Kong Attitude. But what can they do now is that they can force team fights at least earlier on in this game and maybe win those and start to get objectives. And speaking of that, 3 minutes into the game, we still haven't had a dragon, but you can see Outcast already. He is priming himself to get that tower.
Yep, he's clearing out, pushing.
Can do that though.
Pushing in. Tura trying to catch. There you go, a hook coming onto Tura. One-on-one. Fanta comes to back up. He has to back off.
Gets trapped into the ultimate of Outcast. Shaolin was there as kind of like a backup just in case Outcast does or was put in a really tight situation.
At a mid lane, easy wound call. Ooh, they have to back off.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to get him just yet. They don't have enough firepower to do just that. Tura is forcing back Outcast. That's the thing here with the Amelie. He's respecting her just a smudge bit. But check this out, 3 in the top lane. That's going to be pretty big.
Ooh, Abao going in, flips one Kid. Xiaoling coming from the side. Temperance come through. Cat will be the second kill taken by Hong Kong Esports. Whew, this is the kind of combo you want to see. The Slims throwing the land, the Baodum going in, flipping them back. Then the Murek comes in with his ultimate.
Rotation, man. The ability, like you said, the chain of command, though. There's a wave. Wow, he just used his ultimate to force Tura not to be able to go to the tower. He zones it out with the Omen and then destroys the bottom tier 1. Even has his own team to rotate. And this is Hong Kong Attitude as we know them. full force, full capacity, out-dueling, out-rotating everything that one team is trying to do, which is not good for the second game.
Now they will be trying, one kid is just trying the best to farm out as much objective, the jungles, just to get a little bit more advantage. But in terms of team fight, they are constantly being caught out by HKA. This is what HKA is, that their team composition is to catch you out, going in, tower dives, and really seen that 2 times.
Yeah, very much agreed. They're going to try to dive onto Albao here, but I think like he has enough to be able to escape, HP-wise and dash-wise. Fanta's onto the side. Shaolin can actually spot him out and deal significant amount of damage. And Easy's right here. I don't think he's going to be able to escape right now. Fanta should go down.
More.
But they made a mistake. They actually nudge him away from the stun of Easy, and he dodges the skill shot as well. Fanta still survives now into duel into the bottom lane.
Tura versus Outcast is just shredding him off, pushing Outcast back to his tower.
And Rage Spear there, very strong from the Amelie. But while all of that kerfuffle was happening, check that out. Kid obliterated by Shaolin as well as the man on the Slims. There it is, onto the mid as well. Tura kind of just rotating around as he doesn't have his bot tier 1 anymore. And the amount of tower damage that Hong Kong Attitude is starting to peel up, especially 6 minutes in, is staggering. And here it is. Albao joins it onto the top lane. Look at that tower.
Ooh, one more. Yeah. There you go.
They get it easy.
Tura is attempting to take down that bot lane tower. No one's there to defend it, then definitely going over to them. But at the mid lane, HKA just pushing in. They know that bot lane fans are going in, pushing them back, but sacrifices his life. One kid a little bit late to the party. Moonfall comes through. That bottom ultimate didn't connect, but at the side you can see Tura being hit on by Outcast, being flipped behind. The Omen Death Embrace coming through. Tura getting flipped behind, and that will be another one down. Not looking good for one.
The 1v1 for Amelie is incredible against Omen, but the thing is, Omen's ultimate denies her the ability to kind of escape away from that. So if there is a good enough, fast enough rotation from the rest of the members of Hong Kong Attitude underneath that lockdown of Outcast's ultimate, Tura is screwed. And you saw that. He was trying to scramble away, but couldn't really because he was locked in because of Omen's ultimate.
Constantly we can see where Outcast is, Tura is there. He's like constantly having his eyes onto her. Like, I'm watching you. But on a side note, HKA, their rotation is really quick. And one thing, this is making one a little bit hard to catch up, because every time when HKA cuts out one is a little bit late to come for backup. And even if they did, the Crixie Moonfalls come through, the Bowden's here to flip you off into 4-man, a little bit disastrous right here.
I mean,
yeah. Look at that.
They do scope them out, zone them out a little bit because of Fanta's Thane.
Oh, easy Moonfall comes through. Tura tries to walk into 3 men but gets flipped up. That ultimate didn't land. Outcast just walking in the middle. Baya, will Baya be killed? Nope. A little bit more. Baya managed to survive, but look at the top side. Oh, one kid will be taken down by Fanta trying to take down Outcast, but he's a little bit trouble. That will be 4 men down on the side of 1. This is a good opening.
And this is kind of like the career ender plays from HKA. One team overcommitted to that team fight. If we see a replay, we'll be able to kind of dissect a little bit further. But while all of that was happening, Darkslayer is being started right now by HKA. 8 minutes into the game, look at that. Previous game, overall kills was 8 kills, and now it's 11. You can see that Hong Kong Attitude has put a lot more speed into trying to out-rotate and out-control the map up against their Taiwanese counterpart, which is One Team Esports, and it's working exceedingly well for Hong Kong Attitude.
Even though like they separated the members of Hong Kong Attitude, they still managed to pick up the kills on one team, and this is not looking good for Team 1. 1 kill over 10. How would they try to spring back up from this?
That's a very difficult question to answer because right now what one team needs to do is trying to get a little bit more map control. But the thing is, I think they're up to the point that if Thane or Fanta rather try to get that little itsy bitsy bit of vision around the map, they're just gonna get blown up. Kid is in a spot where he got stunned right there. So if you try to just go into a brush that is easily connected with the spear of the Slims, you're gonna get obliterated. Now look at that damage onto the tower with the Drake. Say goodnight, Sweet Prince. Easy knockdown onto the structure.
Oh, Fanta attempting to push Outcast into the tower, but looks like it will be fatal for him instead. But the Moonfall comes through, trying to hit on Tura. One kid from the side, trying to poke some damage, but Tura will be backing off.
They already lost Fanta here. They have no form of re-engage or tanking ability whatsoever. And that Drake is really dealing. I don't think it's going to be able to break the top tier 3, but it's close. And while all that was happening, they're still pretty healthy here. Does Alba have an ultimate? He does. Look at that damage. Just because they have also a siege minion to help out. One hit from Shaolin. That should be it.
But
and
HKA,
yeah, HKA have full control of this game already.
they have to be on quite a lookout on their bot side. The minions pushing in, but 4 of them is at the mid lane attempting to take down this tower. Their pressure is a little bit too strong. Oh, the bot side, they have to be a lookout.
60 seconds before that Dark Slayer comes back for HKA to get up once again, and definitely that Drake should go to the bottom lane if they do secure this big objective. Now, what can One Team Esports do? I don't know, it's difficult to say.
It's very difficult.
Yeah,
like,
because
you just can't go into them. Like, there's a Crixie who can knock you up, there's a Baldom who can flip you behind, or even worse, the Baldom has an ultimate to lock down your whole team.
they can give their hopes and dreams to this Lindis though, but I really didn't like the fact that they had to go for the Amelie as their AD carry, or their ADC for Tora. He could have gone for at least the Hayate third pick or something.
But Hayate was banned.
I think it was banned
it was
on the second phase
Yeah,
though.
it was banned.
They could have gotten him on in the first phase, but I think they just kind of wanted to save him maybe for a game 3 or something.
Probably.
I don't know, maybe this is some kind of sort of shenanigan picks for one team to kind of just, you know, to try to rattle Hong Kong Attitude, but Hong Kong Attitude, they know exactly what to do at this point. Darkslayer should be an easy pick here. Nobody's going to be able to steal that away from Hong Kong Attitude, who did get the Drake. I think it was the Murad or something. Oh, Outcast, he's chasing down. He wants an ultimate to start this fight off.
But HKA, they can play really aggressively when they want because they are already in the advantage. They can just catch one man, but they have to play, really smart. The Drake probably will be released in the bot side.
Maybe even mid, not sure. But Outcast is pushing this. Yeah, there it is, onto the mid. It's going to start pushing right in, while Outcast should be able to get the bottom tier 2. Alba is into the front line. He does have his prison here, so they have to be very afraid that they're going to be able to take down this tower easily and maybe even collapse quickly onto the members of One Team Esports. Now, Albao and the rest of HKA will be rotating to the bot side. They will be able to shut down the Drake, though, but the towers are dwindling ever so quickly on the side of One Team Esports.
The Drake is still standing with a little bit of health left that HKA tries to do that.
Big team fight right here. They're going to chase down onto the man. Baya finally making it happen, but it seems like the Nexus is already exposed. They're pushing them right back out, and they frantically try to defend the Nexus. Oh my goodness, One Team, they got an initiate, but once again, the tunnel vision onto trying to get the shutdown onto the Slims paid dividends. They got shut down, and that is game numero dos, number 2. Onto Hong Kong Attitude. They finish this start 2-0. That is not looking good for One Team Esports.
In this match, Hong Kong Attitude, they have been playing like very promisingly. Like from the start until the end, it was all in favor of Hong Kong Attitude.
Yeah. Are you not entertained? Hong Kong Attitude is pulling the games right out of their butts, or how do I say their pockets. There you go. They are basically pulling every single strategy that they know to counteract One Team Esports, and it's showing. Game 1, it was a little bit too shaky. Now the second game looking much finer. One Team, on the other hand, they really need to get out of this rut. You can see how kind of, I would assume they're pretty much stressed from losing that first game.
Or probably they knew, like, from the first match, they saw how one team was playing really passively, just dragging out the timer, just playing it slow. Then Hong Kong Attitude, they came up with this idea, like, let's go for a full aggressive team instead, since one team is playing it passively. Look at that. MVP goes over to Crixie with 8 kills. That's a lot.
Yeah, 805. I mean, we're gonna see the player of the game. That's probably gonna be easy. You know, he didn't really falter anytime at all. I think it would have been just even easy, or even Shaolin, who did such a phenomenal job at kind of just connecting all of the temporal turbulence and, you know, getting those easy kills and what have you. One team on the other hand, it was like, I don't know what to say. Tora was okay in the 1v1 against Outcast, but picking an Amelie at the same time as a Yena, and you don't have anything to kind of push towers except for maybe the Lindis, is a very big mistake for One Team Esports there.
It's a very big mistake. I really don't understand why they went for the Tane, the Emily and the Yena at the same time, because to me, I felt like Yena and Emily is like the same type of heroes where they go for like the close-up fight and they pick it both at one time, and what's worse, they pick it Emily as the Abyssal Dragon laner.
Yeah, the Yamili. It's not a fun combo. It's not a fun duo to work with, at least in the competitive scene. Or in the pro scene, rather. Maybe in rank, it could work, but no way Jose up against HKA, who are ready. I mean, again, 1v1 heroes are okay, but if you're going to go up against a team that knows how to do the macro play, knows how to rotate quickly around the map, and such a game as AOV that is not going to really force you to go for such a slow, methodical game, it's going to blow up in your face. So that will conclude game number 2. Hong Kong Attitude are already 2-0 here, so if they get 2 more, that's about it. We'll have to see, though, if One Team Esports can bring this back here at the Arena Valor International Championship 2019 Quarterfinals. This is brought to you by Tencent Games, Garena, CJENM,
OGN, True Online, and True Icon Hall.
All right, don't go anywhere. My name is Asarai. This is Yomiko. We'll be right back. 3 words in that ad. Karaage.
Hayate.
Wasabi.
AOV.
AOV. All right, guys, welcome back to the Arena of Valor International Championship 2019, presented to you by Tencent Games, Garena, CJENM,
OGN, 3 words, and True Online, True Icon Hall.
That's true, 3 words indeed. My name is Asarai, and with me now is Yumiko, and we're about to begin with game number 3 in this best of 7 series between Hong Kong Attitude and One Team Esports.
That first 2 game, whoa. First game, backdoor. Second game, strong initiation. I wonder what third game will bring.
Well, I don't think we'll see too many backdoors, at least in this particular game. I think it was just more of like a, an opportunity that presented itself for game 1. But you can already see that there was a definite strain in how One Team was playing for the second game. I don't know, maybe the first game really affected their mentality on how to go to it. And again, being in a best of 7 series, you have to keep your composure, or else it will really affect the outcome of the entire series. But of course, we're still early into this game. We're still going to be seeing game 3, game 4, maybe that's when we'll be seeing, One Team bring it back around. Can they really turn this around? Hong Kong Attitude, when they also met up again last Garena Challenger Series Summer 2019, where Hong Kong Attitude won it out 4-0. That's a very scary thought, but of course, One Team coming into this one, they want that revenge.
Definitely, but the differences between during the GCS Summer 2019 is that there wasn't a lot of heroes yet, like Krizix. So their playstyle was a little bit different back then. But now with a new addition of new heroes, it changes a little bit, but so far we still can see that HK is still the dominant one.
Yeah, very true. But I don't know, that game 1, it really kind of seemed that One Team were supposed to win that. It just took a little bit more time, and HKA, again, being an opportunistic team, found that maybe the backdoor could work for them. It could have backfired, but One Team weren't quick enough on that counter play, and it really costed them that game. Game 2, it seemed like a little bit easier, especially when we saw the picks of One Team a little bit too iffy.
Yeah.
If you think about it, picking the Amelie for Tura, I don't think was the way to go. The Hayate was actually free on the first rotation of picks, so maybe they could have gotten that for Tura. Tura's known to be a really strong Hayate player. I'm not sure why, but maybe in this third game, that's why they went with those particular picks, because they wanted this game to be the Hayate game for Tura.
But who knows? Maybe HKA might ban it away, or maybe they might open it for Team 1 to pick it up. Then a lot of potential picks still open, but there are some heroes that we might not see anymore, like the Liliana has been played by both teams. Some were a little sad that they won't get to see their Liliana waifu anymore.
We still see it. We'll still see it. So whoever wins this best of 7 series is gonna go up against Buriram United Esports, a very difficult team to kind of deal with. And well, speaking of difficulties, One Team struggling in this best of 7 still need to prove themselves worthy of the Hammer of Thor. I'm just kidding, but worthy to be able to win this series out against their true rivals in the Taiwanese region, Hong Kong Attitude. Now, checking that out.
The bans coming through. Darcy Florentino being banned out on the side of Team Hong Kong Attitude, but on the side of One Team Esports, the Zip and the Lindis will be banned out. It still means a lot of potential heroes, tier 1 heroes, are still open.
Krizix actually wasn't picked up by One Team, I believe. Oh, wait. Was it?
Krizix was picked up by One Team. Yeah, it's open for Hong Kong Attitude.
Alright, they actually went with the Baldoon the last game. Now Hong Kong Attitude first picking the Elsu. Okay then. Hey, something to catch that though. They still have the, I believe Bea has the ability to get, I believe the Murad or the Kriknak. We didn't see those.
Nope.
Yeah, for the other 2 games, so you could definitely use that. Elsu does kind of really get hit hard by heavy divers, and the Kriknak could be a really nice counter.
Oh, Killgraph. Yep. they're gonna pick up this Exterminator for themselves. That split pusher.
Kilgroth doesn't really do too well against the Elsu, but at least I think what their mentality might be is that we get something who's strong in the DS lane, who can, you know, push by himself, who can outduel almost anybody as the game progresses. And they immediately also pick up the Annette. They're playing this very safe. They're thinking that if there's a lot more protect, there's a lot more dive from Hong Kong Attitude's picks, they can use this Annette's ability to kind of force her back out, force them back out rather.
But then again, they already second pick the support lane, so HKA might come up with something to try and like counter that.
Sure enough.
Will they still pick up Kha'Zix though, seeing at the Annette being picked up? Oh, Ignis. Crixie, undecided, Azenka. Looks like Azenka is like a playful pick.
I don't really think we're ever gonna see the Azenka. They're just messing with us a little bit. That's just the first pick, or that's just the hover over. It's not gonna happen at all. Ormar also a pretty spicy pick here. That's a lot of range for Hong Kong Attitude. You get yourself the Ignis, the Elsu at the very start. I don't know if one team, well, if they pick up the Diao Chan, that's a thing. I don't know about this Diao Chan though. If they kind of pick it, it does at least deal with the Ormar. But in terms of overall damage output, one team is going to lack a lot in the early game, especially when you get the Kilgroth and the Diao Chan. Kilgroth, he needs his items to scale up, and then Diao Chan doesn't really deal good damage. He just deals good crowd control.
So I'm not too sure what one team is going for at this moment. But you can see the second ban phase, they immediately took out the Craigneck. But on the side of Hong Kong Attitude, you can see they already picked up those strong power output. Elsu, Omar, Ignis, and I'm assuming Elsu, pardon me, Omar might go over to their support, because at one point Omar was being picked up as a support. Murat being banned out, now it will be onto the jungle ban.
More jungle bans will be had here. Well, maybe they'll remove a Killin or something.
A Killin, Lindis jungle?
No, I think you might actually see maybe even a Nacroth come out from one team here at one point. Just because already we're seeing so many removed from the board. Think about it. Hong Kong Attitude, they still have a couple more to deal with here. Maybe they'll remove a jungle of their own. Actually, think about it.
Zil?
Zil, yeah, is a perfect counter pick right now for Hong Kong Attitude, or counter ban right now, because there's so much backline for Hong Kong Attitude that Zil is a really good hero to use, especially once he uses his Hurricane. It does dodge out a lot of the skill shots that come out from Hong Kong Attitude. That's a thing.
8 seconds on the timer. Oh, it seems like they will ban out the key.
Lessen the battle or the fight power of one team, so they kind of respect more the team fight prowess that a Chi brings rather than the Zil. Goes to show how Hong Kong Attitude aren't really afraid of any divers from one team. It kind of sort of makes sense because we saw the Killen come out from Beya a while ago, and it didn't really matter as much. So right now they're saying to themselves, well, if that's going to be how they play, you know, if Beya's not going to be an effective assassin in the jungle, why not just remove somebody who's better in team fights? And that's probably the Chi.
Yeah, Chi. Beya has been playing quite some Chi in the group stage. So that will automatically mean that they have to remove it. As the game progresses, the hero pool gets smaller and smaller. So it leaves Hayate being picked up as the AD.
They're gonna leave Beya out to dry here. What's gonna be the initial pick for him to use in that jungle role? I don't know. Everything's kind of been
still so vague.
Yeah, removed already from the board. Maybe they can go for an air roll or something, but he's more of a DS laner. Or no,
Zephys.
Actually, that's not a bad idea. Get yourself a bit of a front line, but against the composition of Hong Kong Attitude, I wouldn't recommend it.
arrow might be picked up by Hong Kong Attitude alongside with the Fennec.
They can go for a Rourke if they want. Double ADC, because they're lacking damage right now. So a Rourke wouldn't be too bad of a pick for one team. And there's the arrow actually already picked up by Hong Kong Attitude. Alright, we're going to be seeing the arrow here, guys.
So far that Hong Kong Attitude, they have like really high damage output. Like we have the arrow, the Fennec, the Ignis, more of like a split pusher. What will be the last pick on the side of one team B?
They were hovering over the Zephyrus, but it's such a difficult hero to use because he's a all-in type of hero. Like once he goes dead from above and just dives you in, you can't really walk out exactly. Now they're hovering over the Valheim.
Valheim might be a great choice against all this range hero like Omar, the arrow.
I think they're gonna go for the Rourke.
Ooh, Rourke.
There it is, yeah. That'll give them a lot more damage output in this game. I mean, Kilgroth is there, but they'll probably build the Kilgroth a little bit more tankier so that he can frontline slightly for one team. He's going to be more of a bruiser than a glass cannon kind of, Kilgroth. And of course, he's going to have an insane amount of lifesteal, especially once he uses his ultimate. So that's going to help one team absorb quite a bit of the damage in the initiations of the fight. And then you'll have the Rourke and the Hayate being the true ADC, the true damage dealers for one team.
Speaking about Team 1, the DS laner, usually he likes to like go around, mess up with opponents' team. And he plays more of a split pusher kind of playstyle, so picking up the Kilgroth kind of fits his character right there. So overall now, the champion picks by HKA will be the Elsu, the Omar, the Ignis, the Arrow, the Fennec. On the side of Team 1, it's the Kilgroth, the Ennet, the Dalchan, the Hayate, and the Rogue. Hayate! That ad. I still don't get the ad.
Again, for those who speak Thai, can someone please kind of translate what in God's name happened in that advertisement? But here it is. This is the chance. I think that one team has created. We'll go back after this intro right here. I think one team has drafted a really strong roster of heroes right about now. Granted, it's going to be difficult again to reach Hong Kong Attitude because they have such a great backline as of the moment. But the scale of power for one team is undeniably there. The thing is, they have to reach it. Rourke still needs a couple of moments, a couple of minutes to be able to get to that point where he's a true Rourke. And you can already see that Hayate up against a Elsu matchup is more of a skill matchup. If Elsu can hit his snipes, Hayate is going to be in serious trouble.
But then again, you are fighting against Hong Kong Attitude. They have been known to have this kind of attitude to kind of just walk in their face, just disrupt you, gank you early on. As you can see from the top side, Outcast is really fighting Kid one-on-one. They must kind of keep up with the kind of HKA playstyle, constantly going around the map, putting strong pressures all around. Look at that Outcast hitting up Kid. Kid, go back.
This is already going to be at least a couple of hits on the tower here. Even if Annette is going to try to clear out the waves, it's gonna look at that damage already. Shaolin's going to be here with the Fennec. Such a quick start for Hong Kong Attitude. If they had like maybe another minion in that wave, that could have been the tower down to like 1/8 of its HP, which is already a scary thought to think about. Now Fan is getting pushed out here onto the side. Good stun though from the Diao-chan, but the snipes coming out from the man is forcing one team to not really commit to these fights.
This is the strength of Elsu. It just snipes you out. Then you'll be leaving with a low damage, but at the bot side now 3 men onto 2. Hayate is nearby to give backup if it needs, but he goes back to mid lane, deal with the Ignis. Look at HKA, they immediately rotate to mid lane, clearing out that wave.
This fight presence for HKA is immense as of the moment. Like, you have the Ormar to slow down, you have the Fennec to slow down your targets, and then the man from far away to kind of go for snipes. It's a very dangerous combo. Yeah, Hualin does have his passive to work with, but of course that's going to be a secondary hit from the man. And, you know, Diao Chan, compared to Hayate, a much squishier target, so you're going to be in a very difficult situation once you get hit by that second snipe.
Both teams just have to scale up really quickly, and whoever gets that power spike just have to immediately catch out someone. Like one kid farming out that Sentinel probably will move up to top side, but Baya still slowly farming out. Meanwhile, bot side, there is already slowly probably a fight might start.
You're just trying to match the numbers of Hong Kong Attitude in this bottom lane. But the man, I mean, there's nobody to reach him just yet, and he's been just pumping out the hits here. He's going to use the snipe to clear out the wave quickly enough. Hayate's going to be joining out to the bottom lane, but Shaolin spots him out. There's going to be another snipe there. Can he actually dodge it? No, he cannot, and that should be the bottom tier 1 already. Yes, Adet is here, but the wave is able to absorb enough tower hits that Hong Kong Attitude, 3 minutes into this game, destroy their first tower. Bad start for One Team Esports.
They knew Annette went back to kind of regenerate back up. They took this chance quickly, rotate to bot, take down that bot lane first tier tower. Really smart thinking coming from HKA. Immediately now, look at that. They already walk all the way up to the top side, wanting to take that tower.
Objectives, objectives, objectives. That is what is in the heads of Hong Kong Attitude as of the moment. Tura had to go to the top lane just because he needs to be able to farm these waves. Now, at least one team is keeping this gap, I don't know, slightly in the range of Hong Kong Attitude, but you can already see them pulling out a lot more. This wave clear from the man and Shaolin is very difficult to deal with.
They already rotated all the way to top side. It might mean the top side first tier tower have potentially to be taken down.
Yeah, Errol is there. Look at the bottom lane. Outcast is gonna split push this. Kid, I don't think he can beat out Errol just as of the moment. It's gonna be mighty difficult. He's gonna steal this.
Ooh.
Easy steal for the man. Aobao was spotting it out. The synergy for HKA, you can already see it.
That would really throw Rook off a bit without that raid buff. Look at that, deploying Ballistic.
They can stop at least this wave for now, but yeah, that Ballista is going to be able to help out the case of Hong Kong Attitude as they try to break down the tower in the top lane. While Shaolin, he clears out the wave quickly enough. He just goes into the lane and then he just goes into the jungle again. This is such an easy pathing right now for Hong Kong Attitude. I don't think they're going to miss anything in terms of the macro plays, which is going to be much difficult for one team to deal with when they need farm themselves.
They're definitely not looking much onto like trying to pick a fight, but more onto picking up towers instead, because they knew like how One Team Esports, they don't have much tower pusher heroes. They don't have range heroes to take out tower. Look at that, Rook can't take tower. Kilgraph can take tower, but is constantly pushed behind by Outcast. But look at that, a team fight might start here.
The win condition, or at least the openness of strategy for HKA is that they can split push towers and they can win those split push. What one team can do right now is to bide their time. They have to really give these tier 1 towers. They can't really defend it, but there will be a point in this game that when they scale up, they will win team fights. But that is at least a couple more minutes before it really does begin. And you can see that they're frantically trying to give the farm to Bea as well as Tura, but Hong Kong Attitude are not giving them enough time to breathe, which is the difficult thing about this particular game.
It's also difficult because HKA is constantly like drying out their resources from one. Look at that, the leveling is already unequal. On the side of HKA, you can see they are all above level 8 except for Aobao, but on the side of one, most of them are still around level 8 and 7. So it makes them a little bit hard to start fight.
I didn't even know this was the strategy for HKA. They just seemed that they wanted to get a little bit more range, but this range they're using isn't really built for the team fights. It can, but they're using it more to break towers down. And again, one team cannot match the speed of Hong Kong Attitude. And we're just reaching 7 minutes in, but I think that they can start getting this Darkslayer pretty much uncontested because of how much control they have around this particular map. Huge damage though from Tura. He should be able to win this out. The first blood He does take quite a bit of damage.
About coming in.
Yeah, it's going to be a trade.
Oh, that's been coming in. Will
I mean,
he try
he's
to
not
take
going to be able to
Tura?
escape at all. Shaolin does get the last hit, which is going to help out his case. But a 1-for-1 trade. I mean, Tura, that's what I said, man. When he gets the Hayate, he can make the plays. But that was just one play. He needs to make more to bring it back for one team.
Easy, making it look so easy. Look at that spin on Kid. Shaolin comes in. Kid has to back off. Ooh.
He will use his Berserk there to be able to escape the clutches of death. Fanta, though, might not be able to. He does have a wall around. Had to use the water wall, interestingly enough. And here it is, like I said, 7 minutes into the game. It's the Dark Slayer already. They know that they expended a lot of the ultimates for one team. But one team, they also have that idea that they have to counter out this Dark Slayer, which they cannot because Albao is a total bodyguard, a total bouncer for the Dark Slayer lane, or for the Dark Slayer pit.
Yeah, Abao and Easy definitely doing a great job in zoning out one team esports away from the Dark Slayer while giving time for his teammate to pick up that Dark Slayer for themselves. Now, things are really looking in favor of Hong Kong esports. It's only 8 minutes into game, but already 4 towers has been down. One Dark Slayer has already go over to Hong Kong Attitude. Now, the Drake going out the top side. Pew, that's one snipe.
Look at that 360 no-scope.
Whoa.
He's just spitting the snipes out. What a scary thought. The man, I'm pretty sure if we look at how his damage taken or damage received, he's probably going to be like maybe 1% of the overall damage taken by Hong Kong Attitude, which is, I mean, that's just an estimate, but I feel like that is what's going to be showing in the endgame stats later if ever we finish this game off.
Sniping coming through.
Yeah, this is already 9 minutes into the game, and I believe we don't have any more outer towers for One Team Esports to work with. The Drake has already, invested, and it's already paid itself. They're taking the top tier 2, and while all the destruction was happening, the mid tier 2 as well, which is very, very bad for One Team Esports.
One disadvantage from One Team Esports, their playstyle is more to like dragging out the game as long as they can, going into those 20 minutes late game. They have been doing this since the DCS time, and this is not good for them, especially fighting against an aggressive HKA playstyle where they constantly take down towers in the first few minutes. You can't really use this kind of playstyle against them.
And it goes to show, they're just getting sniped out by the man. Like, he is just, like, I don't know where the snipes are coming from. The man is so on point with how he just connects it. Yeah,
he's the man.
Yeah, I mean, again, like those 360 no scopes.
Ooh.
Look at that! Look at that! Look at that finger.
Look at that leveling difference from the Fennec versus the Rogue. Level 14 versus level 11.
This work was supposed to work at least later on as this game progressed, but the thing is, again, how Hong Kong Attitude accelerated this game is, I don't know, isn't being matched at all by One Team Esports, and now because of that, they're paying the price. They're not getting the levels, they're not getting the farm anymore, and it's forcing One Team Esports to go around the map as a team, which is gonna kind of lessen their control around the map even further.
Definitely. They already forced down One Team Esports to stick as a team, giving them a more opening to go and split push. Have you realized that the whole time we don't really see much of the arrow and the kill graph? He's just too busy at the bot side, just zoning out the kill graph, pushing out that lane.
That's actually not a bad thing here for one team. They can use the kill graph later on, maybe build him a little bit more damage centric, and then they can force a fight. Because if you look at the gold worth overall, it's not the biggest gap, so to speak. Like, there's like around 4,000 gold lead, that's about it. But they're kind of bringing it back right now for one team, which is definitely something that they need to do. And the Rourke has started to get the items, kind of pushing the mid here. So Rourke has to back away.
Killgraph doing a little bit of split pushing at the bot side. Meanwhile, his teammate is forced to face against a Drake and 4 men on the top and mid side. One has to go back to kind of clear off that back bot lane, but meanwhile at the mid side, look at the damage inflicted onto Falin, and that the mid base tower will be taken down.
Man, they can't really force a fight at all. Ooh. HKA are just spacing themselves ever so slightly that one team not even going to have a chance to start anything at all. Dragon is up. One kid can actually maybe contest this. Albao is going to spot him out, but the thing is,
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Ao should be tanky enough to deal with that. He even has dash to escape.
Oh, that's nice. He attempted to snipe it, but a little bit comes. No, they will start this Abyssal Dragon Craters. Definitely uncontested.
Yeah, look at where just good kind of positioning. Mid tier 3, top tier 3 already exploded. Yeah, that's gonna be super minions pushing in. And then
ooh, Kilgrove.
he might be able to chase the Kilgrove. He does have ultimate though. I don't think they're gonna be able to burst him down enough. But you can already see Errol starting to push out the bottom tier wave. Darkslayer should be up in like maybe around a minute or 2 minutes or so. So they could use that buff later on. They're probably just gonna wait for the next Drake to come out.
This is what I like about the man. His playstyle is known for like keeping a safe distance, but at the same time dealing a really high amount of damage. But meanwhile, the topside Shaolin did poke out Kid a lot, forcing him back off. But Arrow nearby, Outcast nearby will be trying to strike off. But Easy very near there. I wonder what will happen. Oh, he's still chasing on the Kid. That knock up, not enough.
Kid is pretty tanky. He can absorb quite a bit of damage there. That does give a little bit of an opening for Hong Kong Attitude to start kind of knocking the door down onto this bottom tier 3, and now HKA are looking to finish off this game. Easy onto the front line. They're getting pushed back by Tura, which is dealing significant amount of damage, and now this is what I'm talking about. One Team Esports, they're not out of it just yet. They're able to get the farm that they need onto the important carries. But the thing is, they need to find that small opening that will allow Tura or Bea to start hitting for really during the team fights.
One team probably is a little bit more aware of their opening now, as they already did that mistake in game 1. They forgot about that mid lane opening, but what's worse here, they have 2 base openings that HK might sneak in once again. That's why they are kind of turtled back into their side of the jungle.
Agreed. They're very afraid of the backdoor once again. But I mean, at this point, HKA is not going to be, backdooring at all, because I don't think one team will overpush that damage from the snipe 3/4 for Otura. That's not a good margin whatsoever. And Fanta just kind of went in diving, hoping to get maybe the water wall, and then just hitting somebody. That's going to be a big knock-up on the Tura here. They're spotting him out.
Abao continuing on to Kid. Abao just spinning their way, forcing one have to back off, but Baya a little bit out of position right there. Will be getting caught. There will be 1 kill over to Hong Kong Attitude.
Damn, that's actually 2 kills right now. This is going to be a 3 versus 5. They already know they can finish this off. And this is going to be, well, game 3. Maybe if a miracle happens. Kid is still in the front line. Tura is still up. They do have his Kunai Blitz. If one kid can actually absorb enough damage, maybe, just maybe, Tura can bring this back. Fanta is up in about 5 seconds. So immediately HKA back away. They're respecting one team as of the moment. And you can see that even though they can force a team fight, they can get this. HKA are still playing by the book. They're going to get this Darkslayer and then reset the fight.
They're playing a little bit more safe there. Fennec already completed the Cliff Sanctite for himself. He will be inflicting a lot of damage. He already 2 kills for himself. Look at the replay.
Oh man, Fanta, I don't know what he wanted to do there. He just wanted to like zone or something, but you saw that one team weren't really going to initiate at all. Tura just ran away. He's a Hayate. He should be able to do just that, but they caught Kid. Oh no, yeah, that was just difficult. Bea rather. Look at that, he got destroyed a couple seconds.
Oh, this is Dragon. One will attempt to steal this away, and they managed to steal this away. A team fight will be started. Outcast might be taken. No, he survives. That snipe coming in from Elsu. Tura attempts to go for the man, but the man, the heal come to look at the healing on the Elsu.
The Taiwanese sniper, the man, is just so on point, shutting down Bea, getting Tura, follow up onto Fanta, and this is going to be a 5 versus 2 scenario with no Hayate whatsoever. Look at that, they're even going to use this Drake to just beat down at this bottom tier 3. Mando, he's going to be in a weird spot. He can actually just push over himself over the wall, so he should be fine. Kid, nah, they can't defend this. It's going to be a breakdown onto that Nexus, and game 3 taken by Hong Kong Attitude. And is the pattern going to be real? I mean, day 1, it was 4-3. Day 2, it was 4-2. Day 3, it was
4-1.
4-1 with AHQ 4 and Evo's 1. And now, is it going to be a 4-0?
You can see a pattern right there. 3,
pattern.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Boom. The explosion, you know.
4th game coming through.
And I don't know what's happening with one team as of the moment. They look devastated already. It's still not over though. They can still bring this back. But
definitely have to keep up that mentality.
Exactly.
They have to be strong. But what's worse, they're fighting against Hong Kong Attitude. The same team they fought in GCS to get in AIC. Probably brings back the memories of how they got 4-0'd by Hong Kong Attitude. And now it maybe kind of puts them down a little bit. I hope they do really spring up in the 4th game.
You can already see here the end game stats. Outcast actually is the MVP. He did, I think, one of the biggest forms of damage, at least, as the game kind of progressed. It's going to be at least making Hong Kong Attitude pretty happy. And there he is, the man with the Elsu. Kill percentage 100%. How does he only have one kill?
Over 5 support. I mean it's fair enough. He's constantly standing at the back, doing a lot of snipes, doing a lot of zoning out, forcing teammates to go back with low HP. I would say he did a lot for the team.
Yeah, and look at that damage taken, like 15.3. I did say that he probably would be the one with the lowest damage absorbed, and it kind of goes to show. It's not 1%, but I mean, let's be realistic about that. Still though, they weren't really able to even graze this guy right here, which is the man.
Definitely can't. We did see how Annette tries to walk in, but it didn't end up nice.
Yeah, the thing is, Annette really isn't an initiator, so if he tries to make something happen, it doesn't really work that well. There, that one death was from Tora. If he kind of kept doing that the entire game, I think one team would have been in a much better spot, but they didn't have any team fight presence whatsoever. Like if Phantom wanted to initiate or something, I don't know, that was maybe that was a miscommunication or anything, but you saw one team kind of crumbled in, and they got just blown up easy right after that. Bea, that was a weird initiate from Bea though. Like everybody else was trying to escape. I mean, that was a roar. He was just like auto attack, not really CC. So yeah, again, a super iffy team fight. Bam.
But here though, the outcast survives, and what's worse, we can see that Tira goes for the man, but that healing, look at that healing. Oh.
Tura had the right idea there. Like he had the good timing as well, but I think it was just more to the fact that Hong Kong Attitude had all the items that they needed to in order for everything to fall in place, and that kind of just, again, you know, really made it so that even though one team had these good initiates or good counter initiates, it just didn't matter anymore.
That's the 3rd game.
It's a 3rd game indeed. Are we going to be seeing the 4th game go to the hands of HKA? Guys in the chat, give your support to one team. If you're a fan, you got to let them know they need your help right now because they're already at match point. One more win for Hong Kong Attitude, and they're going to be, you know, already out of this tournament, which is, I don't think the one team fans want to happen.
They might swap out Baya for Zenyu. We never know. Because Zenyu is more of like, his playstyle has been known for sharing his income with the rest of his member, giving his whole team a really good growth throughout the game. But the only downside with this strategy is that he lacks out. But it might be a better one for the team, as his income for the jungle has been constantly shared with the team. So they might put in Zenyu and swap out the current jungle.
Maybe. I mean, this is the last game already. If they want to try anything out of the ordinary, this is the time for one team to do just that.
But as we progress further into the matches, more and more heroes are being eliminated. So it's like, it's getting difficult to plan out a more perfect team right now, like a perfect team composition. What has been used you can't pick, and what hasn't been picked will be banned. So this is the toughness of global ban pick BO7, and this is what I also like about Arena of Valor. You don't get to see those kind of one-trick heroes. It makes you more diversified in more heroes.
Yeah, although it kind of is a slap to the face because you're thinking like, if you don't get a win with this comp, and you're thinking like this is the best comp that we can use right now, you can't use it ever again on the next one. So that's kind of like a big kind of not like factor for these teams to play around with, which is gonna be, you know, again, a really difficult thing to manage. In any case, this is already the fourth game match point. Hong Kong Attitude are already at the precipice of getting this W, and again, you can see how difficult it is for one team to try to get the win or even just a foothold in this game. They're struggling hard.
Definitely struggling. Even though, like, first match, we did see a little bit hope coming in from Team 1. They've been doing really well in the early game, like pushing Team HKA into their base, not unable to come out to farm or anything, but that just one small mistake in the mid lane probably broke their whole game style all the way to game 3.
Yeah, their mentality is immediately shattered after that one. But I mean, again, it's been a couple of games already. Maybe they've already reset. We're still kind of waiting for the fourth game to come out. But is this going to be the quickest series during the quarterfinals? I hope it's not. AIC 2019 has shown to have a lot of fantastic teams, not only the top seeds or the favorite picks for our viewers here, but also from underneath. We saw how good, let's say, teams such as USG performed, right? The other teams such as AHQ, exactly.
IGP. And one fun fact about USG, coming in from Japan, like I mentioned, we mentioned this off screen, like Japan, I was there to cast their AIC qualifier, and one fun fact about Japan's server is that they are lacking behind heroes. Like during their AIC selection, they didn't even have Darcy, but funny thing is they have Rune System, which is a really kind of special server to be in. You don't have Darcy, but you have Rune System. So I did think of this. They might be a little bit of disadvantage comparing to other servers to the fact they do not have so much heroes update. But I'm pretty surprised they still managed to train and bring IGP to 7 games.
Probably the practice.
Yeah, the practice.
Indeed. But I mean, that's probably one of the reasons why we also need to have a unified patch of the game. But hopefully in the future we actually get that, so that, you know, some of these teams who are struggling to kind of adapt to the international scene definitely does get a bit more of that proper what do you call this? That proper, I'm lost for words here. Preparation. There you go. That was the word I was looking for. But yeah. Something rotate in my. Okay, I'm kind of looking a little bit in the chat a little bit.
I'm wearing some glasses, like the lights. I know.
Yeah,
like, hey.
it's weird, right? The lights are kind of just shining upon, and the reason why I have yellow tint, guys, is because it's, you know, it's for the. I think my production just took a screenshot. No, so okay, so the reason why I have like yellow tint on my glasses is because this is like blue light filter, so that, you know, when I always am in front of the screen, which I always am, you know, playing video games and working, I don't get as strained as before, so it helps. It helps.
All right. So both teams are currently setting up in the lobby, I assume. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think they're setting up in the lobby. We just have to wait a little bit. But again, guys, give your support. Hashtag HKA win.
Or HKA.
Or that's the weirdest thing, right? If you give hashtag one win, then they just mean one win.
One win.
It's such a weird set of words, because if you want Team 1 to win, maybe, I don't know, it's even if you say
I want one.
Oh no, it's one team esports, so maybe hashtag one team win.
2 team win.
Or Team 1 win. See, it's that really just, like, you know, donks your head up. It just kind of confuses you a lot, but still. Also, the reflection is making my teeth look like
it makes my teeth look. I'm very braces. So
yeah, I'm wearing braces though. Look at that.
I'm not. Oh, we're already in the 4th day of quarterfinals. I'm pretty sure it's even longer for you. You've been casting the whole group stage from Philippines, flying into Malaysia. What have you What's your thoughts so far in the whole AIC since you've been doing that since the start?
There has been a big gap in performance, or at least in like overall strength of region in the group stage at least. But once we got into the playoffs, you already see that, you know, they are able to kind of match on to each other. But there are some non-factor regions in the group stage. I think one of those non-factor regions might have been the MSP.
Yeah, definitely.
They struggled a little bit. Like in terms of like overall micro skill, everyone is pretty matched up. Especially maybe just a slight difference with like, let's say, up against the Vietnam region or the Thai region, but everything else I think is already the same. The biggest factor, I think, what is kind of separating these teams is the ability to understand how the macro plays in Arena of Valor works, and some of these teams just know it a little bit more better. HKA's, you know, seem to be the better team in Taiwan that knows the macro game further than one team. But now one team, I think at the base of it, they're just really kind of struggling in terms of the draft. They're getting the nice picks, but Hong Kong Attitude is getting the proper counter picks up against that.
I'm not sure what's with HK and hovering over the Azenka. But definitely we can see that Zip and Florentino being banned out on the side of HKA, and One Team Esports will be banning out the Killgraph alongside with the Lindis. Ooh, Darcy being picked up by one. Darcy.
They kind of know that there's going to be maybe a... Yeah, they switched up to Shanyo already for one team. So no more Baya with us.
Baya.
Yeah, there's a lot more melee heroes again for one team. I think they already know that a lot of the ADCs have been already, or the range heroes have been used by One Team Esports. And with that, they're going to be betting on the fact that Omen's going to be here. Kriknak is actually still available for one team if they get that. And that is a really good answer to all of that dive potential with her ultimate.
Especially denying the Darcy and the Omen, and it's pretty good pick right now. Oh, Alice will be hovering over.
Really, gotta get the Alice?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Bringing it out, a different hero for this scenario. It's not gonna be the Kriknak just yet. I mean, sorry, the Darcy was already there. What am I talking about? But at least you do see that there is a little bit more adjustments from one team here. They're going outside the box. They're trying to think, what can we try to bring to this last game? This is the final match already. We can try to be as creative as we can, and maybe, just maybe, it might work.
Yeah, it's a do or die for one team at this point. It's already match point for HKA. They have to be very careful on their banned picks at this moment. Quillen hovering over HKA. Zephys, Quillen, Zephys. Which one would it be? But they have Alice, a really strong silencer right there, especially with her ulti. Gives up the shield, has that stun, the sunshine, the friendship, the hissy fit. Pretty good for one, I guess, considering how they have constantly being dived in, one solo killed by HKA. This might tone down HKA's aggressive playstyle a little bit.
The thing I'm afraid of for this Alice though is Killen was picked. So he can just activate Assassinate, blow up the Alice, which isn't really a tanky hero, and then Alice becomes a non-factor.
So they're really reliant on Alice on the protection. So just eliminating the Alice would kind of do a really big opening for HKA.
They need a way to kind of scout her out, which would probably be the Elsu for one team here. They can use that, but yeah, Attitude sniff it out already, and it's kind of like remove it from the board. This is bad. This is very difficult for one team.
Well, okay, speaking of that, look at that animation on the screen though.
Yeah, the AR, man.
That Alice looks so adorable.
Keep saying it. It's there. It's incredible. The AR.
I like how Garena or Tencent is doing this. It's just so beautifully done. But speaking back about the picks, they ban out the Hayate, the Delchan, also Ignis also being banned off by HKA. So what will be the pick? Kha'Zix. HKA is not considering the Kha'Zix at this point.
They already have, well, the Annette, so...
Yeah, they have the Annex, so we won't be seeing Krizzix being picked up, despite they using a lot of Krizzix during the group stages. Now Varus and it, we need 80 and ADC. Lindis was used. A Yorn. Woohoo!
They do need some range. Yorn does provide that. He's gonna be able to throw out his skill shot and then, you know, be able to snipe people left, right, and center.
I was thinking about Talanas or maybe a Valheim, but Talanas will ultimately be the final pick for HKA. Really good pick. Like, it's an all-rounder that people often underestimate the ultimate of Talanas. It gives that CC, it stuns out people whenever someone just want to come near you. So Talanas, it's quite a solid pick here, in my opinion.
Last 2 picks for one team here. They would have really benefited from that Talanas, and they're gonna look for the Illumia for the mid lane. And I'm assuming for their ADC, they're just gonna get maybe a Violet.
Illumia.
Brunhilde, I don't know if it will work for this comp though.
Or maybe a Crest.
It'll get it'll get outranged by the Talanas. They're looking at the Zuka.
Ooh, the Panda.
So is this gonna be? So this is gonna be, I'm assuming, a Zuka jungle.
Omen, a DS laner, Alice support, Illumia mid, and Darcy AD laner.
Yeah, probably that.
Ew.
There's a Yena for the last pick for Hong Kong Attitude. They're gonna go for a fight comp here. Oh, first time to see the Zuka though. We're gonna be seeing a disruptor for One Team Esports. I don't know how to feel again about the one team composition. This is them really digging deep into their hero pool.
The Illumia, probably they want to use her Cataclysm to kind of like deny all the aggressive diving coming from HKA, especially Quillen, the Anet, yeah.
Yeah, that'll help at least the Alice though. So they start off with the Alice, use her crowd control a little bit, and then Illumia to follow up to make sure that the Cataclysm actually hits. Because I feel like Illumia, one of the weaker things about her is that her Cataclysm's cast time or hit time is very slow. So if you're fast enough, you're just gonna be able to run around it easy.
And the ultimate lineup. Will this be the final ban pick or will it be the second last ban pick? We never know.
Omen jungle. I haven't seen this in a while. He's gonna be able to at least run up to you, pull you back in, and then that might be enough crowd control for one team here. At least one team's composition is, I would say, pretty balanced at the moment. They have a lot of good fight power. I'm not sure about being able to get towers though, but in terms of fighting for objectives such as the Dragon and the Abyss, the Darkslayer, they should have enough firepower to push back Hong Kong Attitude.
Definitely swapping out Zenyo would be a better choice, despite you can see how they often go for that full team fight composition, but they always lag out due to the fact that Hong Kong Attitude always squeezes out their income. So Zenyu is the kind of playstyle, the jungle playstyle he plays is that he constantly share the income with teammates, especially the support. The support sticks very close to Zenyu. Then with this, the leveling up will be even better for his teammate. You can see how the last game, the leveling up wasn't really fast for One Esports. So maybe swapping out Zenyu might have a little change here. Fun fact.
Fun fact. All right, we'll be back for game number 4 after this intro. Here we are, guys. Match game already. Match point for Hong Kong Attitude. Is this gonna be enough for One Team Esports to actually bring this back, get that one game, and start to roll the ball? One more slip up and that's gonna be enough, and one team are already out of this tournament. And they really match up against HKA. They met up last GCS Summer 2019 last month, and now one team, they're still looking to redeem themselves. Look at Albao, he's stealing the jungle here.
This is what I like. Yeah, this is what I like about Albao. He is constantly just near the jungle of their opponents, just giving that pressure. But look at Outcast. few games we've seen constantly harassing the opponent in the early game. He's just trying to outcast people.
This is not gonna be a range game that Shanyo can win.
Oh, Zenyu actually going off to the bot lane about giving Darcy that jungle.
Okay, so they are gonna use Tura for the jungle. They just mixed up the particular heroes here.
I see.
Yeah, I didn't notice the punish being picked up by Tura there, but still, this is weird. So one team, I don't know, they don't really switch lanes as much. Maybe they just wanted to confuse Hong Kong Attitude that Shanyo is gonna be possibly on the jungle, on the jungle Omen, to kind of adapt properly. But this means that the lanes are gonna be very weak to range heroes, especially now that Tel-Anas is here. Zuka and Omen don't really do anything to Tel-Anas, especially when Shaolin or this Annette is gonna be, zoning out for them. This is gonna be hard.
Ooh. Will this be another HKA match? I'm not sure. What one have to do now is to actually just farm up as much as they can. Pick the right fights. Pick out HKA members one by one, but it's a bit hard. HKA has a very complete team playstyle where they are constantly looking out for each other, while Fanta managed to land a stun out easy, but gets harassed by Saladin, forced to back off.
One team at least are keeping their jungle to themselves. Hall Attitude are not able to counter jungle as much, or maybe as much as they would want them to. Yena against the Omen, and Zuka, he's backing off. He knows that he can't really win this 1v1 against the Tel-Anas. He has to respect the rotation of that particular ADC. It's so good. Like once you get that level 4 going, it's gonna eat you alive.
So far, both teams are still equally paired up. No fight so far, but we might look for one soon. HKA collapsing in the mid lane, 3v3. Will we see a fight here?
There's a little bit of a poke here and there, though.
Still playing really safe, cause probably one didn't want to risk it. This is match point, after all.
Dragon's already being started by one, so they can use this to their advantage. But it seems like they're going to counter it out with the Varese. They're zoning in a little bit here. The thing is, he's getting zoned out by one player, maybe make that two, but everybody else is actually onto the top lane. They could dive onto Zuka, but they actually spot out Phantom with this Alice.
Yes.
She does have her flicker up, never mind. He just puts back, and that's going to be it. First blood should be theirs. Yeah, easy. They dive it onto Kid, but he is a Zuka. She's going to be able to escape from that. But it seems like after that play, they deny also one team from getting the Dragon up into their own side.
I like how Annette used her skills to push back the Alice back into the teammate, and that's how they got that one kill. Really good pickup from HK8 right there. Now giving them a lot of opportunity to pick up that Zuka, that top laner. Harassing is going on. That mid lane, 3v1. One is trying to defend the tower, Varus is nearby, Annette rotating around, giving that vision.
And they're really giving Tura everything as in the moment. They know that Tura is a definite hard carry in the form of how he plays, and he's been mechanically gifted throughout, or he's been performing mechanically well during this entire group stage, and they kind of want to use that as their linchpin to start winning them the fights. But the thing is, Darcy is good, but he relies around his skill rotation to be great in terms of damage, and I don't think it's going to be the easiest thing to kind of execute here, especially up against Hong Kong Attitude. But now here is the Ballista minion, or the Siege minion. We're going to see if there's going to be a quick tower for either HKA or one team.
HK8, compared to other games, they did not manage to pick up an early tower in this match, but they did try to pick up some heroes. Look at that, Shaolin being picked up by Kid a little bit. He goes in. They know the teammate is nearby, but Tura is coming for backup.
There's the wave. It's going to get cleared out pretty quickly here because of that Darcy as well. That's going to give one team a little bit more limelight here, but Hualin got caught out there. I think EZ was just kind of waiting for it in the sidelines. He knew that the Illumia was going to go around and try to help out their team, but because Illumia isn't really a mobile hero, as a Varese, it's easy for her to just dive right in. And this opens up the possibility of maybe getting a tower in the top lane. Phantus get caught out here. He does have a flicker over, but he got bursted down. The damage from Varese is so strong, even as of right now. 5 minutes into the game.
Alice is really squishy here. In fact, most of their heroes is really squishy. Just look at Illumia, Darcy, Alice. They only depend on the Panda, the Zuka. But Zuka is constantly being forced by HK into the lane. So you can't see a Zuka around the teammate to give them the protection. So this is not looking good for one. They're constantly being picked up one by one now.
Big ultimate there though from the Illumia. No follow-up because Aobao is still there, and yeah, not enough damage for Zuka to really outduel the 2v1 matchup. For now, that was just an ultimate to kind of keep themselves safe. Shanyo is right here. Gets spotted out though. Shaolin's going to be able to dive right in. Oh, so much damage with that kill. And
Outcast still going through.
Still, who's going to get this Might Golem? One more hit.
Tira will get the Might, but Xiaolin's not giving up. He's diving on the Tira. Senyo is fighting 1v2, but he's aiming for Tira, but Zenyo tried to push him back. Xiaolin not giving up, but Senyo will try to get Tira. But backups come. Easy going off with Zenyo. Zenyo a bit low. There's strings for him, but one will be pushing them back. But Outcast, look at Outcast. He's out of position.
Good damage. I think Outcast was just doing there. Yeah, he just cleared out the wave, proxied it so that he can get this bottom tier 1.
Ooh.
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah.
Easy for him.
Nice.
Those deaths for Hong Kong Attitude were calculated. Even though Shaolin did pay with his life, that pulled in 3 members of one team just to shut him down, which meant that mid tier 1 and bottom tier 1 were unaccounted for.
One sad thing about one is that they can't get Zuka out of lane. Zuka is constantly being occupied at the top side. But they really need that tank to be that frontliner. If not, his team is really squishy. The second guy they can depend on is actually the Omen. But now HKA still hovering over to the top and mid side. One is still defending this. Darkslayer is up now. 7 minutes into the game, 8 minutes. The man going into mid lane, clearing out that wave. Whew.
They're going to push out this wave a little bit more just because maybe they want to get that dragon afterwards. I don't think they're going to go for the Darkslayer just yet because it is a pretty difficult objective to get as of the moment. Cataclysm will be thrown out by the Illumia, but that was more to kind of scout out where the members of HKA are. They know that they're in the top lane. They can actually get this tower if they want to.
Oh, Abao just trying poke the tower a little by bit, but Kid and Fanta is
that should be it. Ugh. Oh, not yet.
Fit, Gonster, nothing much can be done.
One more wave, that should be it.
Yeah. Now Alice and Zuka falls out, but they goes to the mid lane. A fight might start here. 5 men in the mid lane collapsing on HKA.
The curse of AIC 2019, the pattern. 4-3, 4-2, 4-1, and now a possible 4-0.
Oh, no.
I mean, if someone can beat this curse out, I believe it's gonna be one team. But as of the moment, they really are getting pushed back again to the wall. They need to make a play happen because this macro game is definitely won by Hong Kong Attitude. So they have to go the other route, which is to fight Hong Kong Attitude as the moment. But can they really? Oh, to dive in onto Tura.
Alice has to back off. Her mana is really low. If a fight were to be here, she can't really do much. So now that's one member off. Cataclysm comes through, managed to stun one, but not much. HKA once again cleared the mid lane. Xiaolin will be trying to take this Abyssal Dragon all by itself uncontested.
Give that extra gold to Outcast as well. You know, just being a total friend, total teammate. Next tower is going to be that mid tier 1 though.
Definitely. HK has eyes on the mid lane tier 1 tower. Then look at Varus, Krillin on the mid side. While Outcast is just constantly
clearing out the waves.
Clearing out the wave. One's not giving up, just like, no, the mid lane tower is not going down. Easy, but the jungle is definitely dominated by HKA at this point.
They're setting up. They want to get this top tier 2, and if they break it, not only will that give them more control around the map, it will give them more control around this DS, which is, of course, one of the winning conditions for HKA to close out this game. And 10 minutes into this game, you can already see a 5,000 gold lead for Hong Kong Attitude.
I'm not sure what one team is trying to plan out here. They are unable to do much at this point, just constantly being picked knocked out one by HKA, especially the Alice Tura might try and do something here, but not enough. Alice is pretty much far behind compared to Anna. Look at the goal difference.
There's the ultimate from the Darcy though. Ooh. You can already see that Albao actually in a really tight spot, still able to just dash around. Tura finally catches the man right there.
Oh, easy.
But do they get the 1-for-1 trade? They're hard on the heels. Shaolin was waiting onto the side. You know that he's kind of waiting for that right time to dive right in with the Keelan. Still, that is a trade that did work into the favor of one team, but one team cannot find an objective after that. Still not what they need to get the win.
Even though they did manage to pick up the Anna, but here's a fight, Shaolin. Ooh, that chunk of damage onto her by the Darcy, but Easy will try and chunk out the damage. Not enough. Cataclysm come through, did not connect. Still not much happening for Team 1.
They're finally using the Darcy a little bit more aggressive. Tura finally kind of finding a little bit more comfort or confidence with how he initiates the fights. So they're using the range of one team to try to get a pick. The problem now is they're lacking a little bit more in terms of that damage department, which is making it difficult for one team to push outside of their range of their towers. But when they can actually get an insta pick, that is when one team can start getting more objectives. But I think HKA knows this fact already and it's gonna play a little bit more safer.
Outcast is constantly shoving the bot lane, giving them a little bit busier, keeping them a little busier down there. But in the mid lane, they're still partying in the mid lane. HKA trying to get that mid lane tower, at the same time defending their own. One is not giving up. Their main objective is still the Dark Slayer.
They're trying to just kind of watch around in this area.
Look at Tura just constantly harassing the Dark Slayer.
It's gonna net or give enough information for HKA that the Abyssal Dragon is up. It's actually open for them to take. Oh, it's gonna come back. No, I thought they got Albao there with the Dimensional Rift, but it wasn't to happen. It's gonna be a 4v4 here in the mid, and HKA they even know that they can't really go to the outer sides. Just go to the mid-tier 1 first. That's the most important, easiest target that they can pick up right now.
But I felt that one team, they are once again a little bit tunnel vision because they didn't realize that the Abyssal Dragon was being taken, the top side was being pushed. They're just constantly trying to protect the mid lane tower, but his if it comes through, Darcy tries to connect the ultimate that didn't connect. Easy still stays safe.
I think like, aside from the fact that they just don't know, they can't really push out because they have no idea where the other members of HKA are. And I think as one team that doesn't have a proper disengage, that is very difficult to get caught out of the open. And
Outcast going in, trying to catch out one man. Tura a little bit low. Oh, managed to kill off one guy. Diving that tower, all of them collapsing onto Outcast. Albao trying to come for backup.
He's so strong.
Still surviving. No, Outcast is a little bit low. Oh, Albao might get caught next. He managed to flicker away.
They finally shut him down, but that means that there's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. And, okay. It's finally one team's time to use that sniper or use that siege minion to their advantage. Cataclysm to come out from Illumia, spots out the Kit. I don't think he's going to be able to steal this one. Shanyo, though, might say otherwise. He does. Actually, no, doesn't have a punish because Tura has the punish.
Oh, Easy trying to zone out Zenyo. One Kid trying to disrupt them. Oh, Easy and Albao doing a really great job pushing away Zenyo. They managed to take... Did they take down the Dark Slayer? No. Dark Slayer is still alive. They go for the kill instead, but a disengage right there.
They're playing it extremely safe. Like, they didn't get the Dark Slayer because they were afraid that Shanyo might have gotten it. And here we go. Look at that initiation from Outcast. He just did everything by himself. Easy tried to follow up, yes, but he was underneath the tower. He survived for such a long time. And this is just Outcast showing how proficient he is with that Yena. Get a second kill. Yes, please.
Ooh.
Finally gets hooked in, but at the end of the day, it's not enough. Oh, he's going to get this.
Who will take it? Oh, one will be having the Dark Slayer over to themselves. Now HK is trying to go for the pursuit. Easy, not giving up, but looks like, oh, I just so lost for words right now.
The Dark Slayer isn't going to be as important to HKA because they can use the range of Tel-Anas to just break down the towers and they can't really punish anything at all. That's going to give a little bit more teamfight presence presence for one team, but at the end of the day, HKA still have control of the entire map. They only lost the bottom tier 1, and that's about it.
Yeah, with the mid lane tier 1 tower gone, but Easy might be going a little bit for the fight. His if it comes through, managed to silence them, back them off. Look at the Dimensional coming in, didn't connect. Easy will strike. Ooh, a little bit of disengage right there. Cataclysm comes through, not enough, but Zenyo on a pursuit on the cell lane. That heal coming in. Ooh, one kid will not give up, but they will back off.
The chase down. Now we're seeing that one team esports is finding their stride. Outcast, he's got the mobility of the Yenna. He's going to be able to at least pin down this Drake easy. Look at that damage. He has to actually back away, but the strategy of HKA is already there. You know that they just kind of want to stop the bleeding or the possible bleeding, you know. Prevention is better than cures, as much as some may say. And they're stopping that Drake to actually getting any big leads whatsoever in the side lane.
3 to 5. 16-minute timer. HKA is still defending the mid lane tower, but probably not anymore.
They're gonna force the fight.
Force a fight coming in. Abao managed to push Hualin away. Not sure is it a really good choice, but Cataclysm didn't connect.
Good disengage here from one team. I thought that they would have not much of a disengage, but it's actually working out well for them. Easy's gonna get spotted out there, but he is, of course, a Verez. You don't really want to fight against that. Abao dropping a little bit of his skills right there.
Fight! Oh, Tura just got exploded.
No.
Xiaolin still pursuing onto Fanta, but Fanta, he's a little bit tanky right there.
I don't think Tura even knew that was gonna happen.
Ooh, he just disappeared.
He just walked up and oh no.
Oh, the man getting caught up by the kid from the side. Cataclysm come through. Hits if it. Oh, not much.
Outcast on the side here. A couple more auto attacks. That should be it. Yeah.
Look at Tawana utilizing that long range, getting at the towers.
Habo's protect is insane. Like they try to dive in onto him. He just like walked up in front of everybody and just pushed everybody back.
Top lane being shoved in, minions wave coming in. Fanta throwing the hissy fit easy coming from behind. That will be Kid. Ooh, Kid will be taken away. The Panda, one down, easy, not giving up, going in. Xiaolin coming in from behind. Hualin being caught under the tower. Cataclysm did not connect. Mid lane tower gone. Top lane tower will be gone too. Is this it? Will HK going straight for the core, going straight for the team. Ooh, hissy fit comes through, not enough. The fight goes on. Xianyo trying to defend this. Easy, trying to get a Zenyo. Zenyo is the second man alive. That will be 4 men down. Fanta is the last man left to defend this. HKA will be the 4th semi-finalist going in, fighting against BRU.
Oh man, that final fight, it never went on to the hands of one team, and the curse, the pattern is done. 4-0 for Hong Kong Attitude. They repeated what happened during the GCS Summer 2019.
It was a 4-0.
It was a 4-0. One team. Oh man, that was a great game, but they probably aren't going to be feeling much well with that one. Still, a valiant effort for one team. They did a fantastic job, but their draft might have been a little bit off to the wayside. A little bit lacking, so to speak. That was a, I don't know. It felt like they put too much pressure into trying to get these specific picks per game, and it just made it unnecessarily difficult for one team to pull off the roster, the lineups, the compositions that they made for themselves.
Oh, look at that. Easy being the MVP for this match. 305. That goal differential of 16k, 7 towers taken down, 3 Abyssal Dragon, 10 kills over 10. 10 kills over 3, sorry.
There's a good fight there for one though, but the thing is, I think the rotational understanding of Hong Kong Attitude was a little bit more than what one team could have handled, and here he is, key player of the game, Outcast with the 2v1s.
50% kill participation, 20.8 damage dealt. But one thing I'm not too sure with one's team was they picked up that Alice. And the Alice was constantly being picked up one by one. they probably could go for like a tankier support, like the Lumber, the Crest.
That's true.
Yeah, they picked up a really squishy support. Even though they have a tanky frontline like the Zuka, but the Zuka too was picked out. He didn't sustain long enough in the team fight, so you can consider him a little bit not utilized well.
Yeah, and the problem with having a Darcy as your carry is that he works incredibly well as a burst option, but he doesn't do consistent, auto attacking damage, which I think really hindered the way that one team can really play around the map. And it goes to show that they really couldn't do much if Darcy or Tura doesn't set up with his Dimensional Rift. And that's not really how I think one team really wanted to play, but they were forced to do that because they didn't have an ADC such as the Tel'Anas or like a Violet to work with.
Definitely. But Darcy, once again, like the Dimensional Rift, even though like we can see a lot of damage being inflicted, but it's only like a small area, not enough. You can see that how HK, they have a lot of various, and they're all around. But what you want to do as a Darcy is to keep everyone around in one area, which is not utilized well.
Definitely agree with you on that. With that said, that actually is the end of our quarterfinals, guys. That means that next week we have already our set teams up and running for you guys to view next week, like I said. So that is going to be IGP Gaming up against Team Flash. Then Buriram United Esports will be going up against Hong Kong Attitude. I mean, at least now, who do you think is gonna win? Like, who are you looking for within these 4 teams?
Not too sure. But if we see from like the plays today and yesterday, Buriram and HKA might be a very intense fight. Both teams has very aggressive playstyle. So if we were to say coming in from the bottom side, the Buriram HKA, maybe BRU might have a chance against HKA.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I think BRU can win that game pretty easy, and then I think Flash will win the IGP game. And then it's gonna be like a Team Flash BRU finals. I feel like BRU can actually win this tournament, so to speak. And with that, I guess we're gonna end the stream already. There's no more games for this week, guys. It's gonna be next week. I think this is 16, 17, 23 and 24. 23 is the day for the semifinals, and then 24th is for the grand finals. Again, here at the AIC 2019. And with that, my name is Asarai. With me is Yumiko. Guys, thank you so much for watching, tuning up with us. And again, this wouldn't be possible without our sponsors, Tencent Games, Garena, CJ E&M,
OGN, True Online, and True Icon Hall.
So we'll see you guys next week. Ciao and bye.